a CFL team that have yet to win a game in Canada. Mark Ledbetter will get after Damon Allen as Sacramento and Edmonton get after it next. For much of this season, Edmonton has employed a three-quarterback system. But then Damon Allen stepped forward and seized the #1 job. In the Eskimos' last two games, Allen has gone wire to wire, leading the team to impressive victories. And now there's no question about who's #1 in Edmonton.
Damon is comfortable with the offense. He knows what he can take out of the offense to allow him to play football the way he plays best. And when he plays at his best, he's productive.
David Archer has been the #1 man in Sacramento all season long. He enters this game as the CFL's second leading passer. He has no shortage of great offensive weapons, yet his team is 2-7, leading many to believe that this is a sleeping giant waiting to emerge under Archer's leadership.
Well, I expect our guys to come up with a better effort in the second half. We've been close on a few occasions, but close doesn't get it in this league. You got to put points on the board and keep people off, and that's our job.
Tonight, it's straight A's as Allen meets Archer on the CFL Live. The CFL Live on TSN is brought to you by Pepsi. Be young, have fun, drink Pepsi. And by Mark's Work Warehouse, closed at work. It's a spectacular night for football in Edmonton. 23 degrees, not much wind, and after a week of rain, the natural grass here at Commonwealth Stadium is in perfect condition for the Gold Miners' first visit to Edmonton. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the CFL Live. I'm Gord Miller. The Edmonton Eskimos are the last CFL team to go through the so-called Hell Week. 3 games in 8 nights, the last 2 against the Calgary Stampeders. So the question is, will Edmonton look past Sacramento, the CFL team that has yet to win on the road this year? For more on this game tonight, let's go to John Wells.
Gord, the Eskimos face a very tough challenge in the first game of this tough triple-header. They have won 2 games in a row, but really are in a must-win situation against Sacramento tonight. It is must-win for the Gold Miners, too, because they will have to catch the Edmonton Eskimos first to have any hope of making it to the playoffs.
Well, John, that's so true. You know, Edmonton is 6 points ahead of Sacramento, and if Sacramento... I think this game takes on a larger meaning for Sacramento and their franchise, more importantly. They have had great fan support at the beginning of the season, but, of course, a losing record, and the fan support has dwindled. The curiosity factor is no longer there, and, of course, with a home game with Ottawa next weekend, the NFL starting, college football starting, I think for the viability of the franchise, this game for Sacramento is very critical tonight.
Labor Day weekend starts a little early in 1993. It is already crunch time in Canadian football. From Commonwealth in Edmonton, this is CFL Live.
3100 or send $19.95 plus shipping and handling to P.O. Box 4670, Omaha, Nebraska. Be sure to indicate your hair color or call now 1-800-238-3100.
David Archer has been the bright light for Sacramento so far this season. Only Doug Flutie is having a better passing year than the Gold Miner quarterback. So with all those impressive numbers, the question remains, why are the Sacramento Gold Miners 2-7?
We have to protect. That's where our #1 thing comes from. And then we've got people that can win. And we've moved the ball from 20 to 20 on everybody in the league, including this group. But when we've got in that scoring zone, we've got to raise our game because we've got to put the ball in the end zone. This game, and the Canadian game, is all about scoring. If you can't score, you're not going to win. And we haven't done a good job in the scoring zone of scoring. So everybody on our team offensively has got to raise their game up when they get inside the 20-yard line and decide, well, if the ball's just out of my reach, I'm laying out and making the catch, or whatever. I'm going to stay on my block a little bit longer to make this play happen, because I think that's where our main problem has been throughout the season, regardless of who we played.
Commonwealth in Edmonton. The Eskimos and the Gold Miners meet for the second time in a rather critical game for both teams. Leif, what'll be the difference in Edmonton tonight?
Well, John, you have Edmonton as the leading sack team in the league, and of course Sacramento has given up 42 sacks, which only Toronto was worse in that department. So it really becomes a situation of the sackers against the protectors. Edmonton against the O-line of Sacramento. Whoever wins that battle probably will win this football game.
Tonight's starting lineup brought to you by Speedy Auto Glass. Don't take a chance. Take your auto glass repairs and replacement to Speedy Auto Glass. Ready now for the Eskimo kickoff at Commonwealth. Here's John Fleming. Mike Pringle gets out to the 30-yard line. A 20-yard return. Met there by number 28, David Archer. Had his best game last week against the Saskatchewan Roughriders. The running backs for Sacramento, Mike Oliphant and Mike Pringle, number 27. The receivers, Titus Dixon, Freeman Basinger, Carl Parker, and Rod Harris.
Sacramento had an awful time with injuries on their offensive line, but they have some people back. Steve Gabbard is back. Mike Kostelik, the center, is back. This is the best group they've had since the opening game.
On first down, Archer has Oliphant over the middle, and he'll have plenty for the first down. Stopped by Glenn Rogers Jr., and that is a 24-yard pickup for the Gold Miners.
And if there has been one all-star on this football team this year, it certainly has been number 33, Mike Oliphant, a veteran, 30 years old, with a lot of NFL experience. But you see there, 10 touchdowns in total, which is tied with Eddie Brown for the league lead. 5 of them rushing, 5 of them through the air. He is their big play guy.
Sacramento first down. Out near the 50. Archer stands in, looks to the far side. Basinger was his intended receiver, number 1.
Basinger incomplete.
And Archer came up a little bit
Glenn
short.
Rogers Jr. in on the coverage. Second and 10 Miners. Ball in early.
Well, if they give David Archer time to throw tonight, he is one of the purest passers that I have certainly seen in the Canadian Football League. And I would venture to say he has the strongest arm of anybody in Canadian football right now. Some people may say it's Ken Austin, but I think Ken Austin's arm is pure passing arm.
From the shotgun, Archer on second and 10. Good protection this time, and he overthrew his intended receiver. Basinger was in the area, number 1. He's the slot back on the left side. So 1 first down for the Gold Miners. Kay Stevenson. Solid protection here.
Well, it really was. You'll see on a good shot here, the number 91, Tony Woods, the nose tackle is double teamed. Edmonton only comes with 4 people. They were going more for coverage. They got good coverage downfield. So what you give up in pass rush, they gain back in pass protection downfield.
Gardere, the new punter for Sacramento in his second game. And here's Henry Williams breaking the first one of the night. Williams out near the 50-yard line. He's closing in on Paul Bennett's all-time punt return yardage record in Canadian football.
Well, he came into the game 65 yards behind Paul Bennett, and I would think with that return of 25 yards, he is well on his way to probably doing it tonight. And for Henry Williams, often so many times, it does not take much on the blocking scheme of things up front. He is so quick, and when he is going directly at the cover team, that's when he is most dangerous.
The Eskimos well set up at the Edmonton 50 on first down. The draw play, Michael Souls, and Souls is most of the way to a first down. Met by Mark Ledbetter, number 73. Eskimo quarterback Damon Allen, fresh from his best performance since returning to Edmonton. 4 touchdowns last week against Hamilton. The Eskimo backfield missing Blake Marshall again. Souls and Walling will carry the load. Henry Williams and Gary Morris start outside. Esquardo and Brown are the inside receivers.
The only real change on the offensive line is Steve Krupe replacing Randy Ambrosi, and this is Krupe's second game starting at right guard, and of course always anchored by the veteran number 67, Rod Conniff.
A gain of 8. Second and 2 Eskimos. They keep it on the ground again.
Good block and follows his way what looks to be a first down.
Michael Souls should have the first down.
And I think the first thing that comes to mind is short yardage, and people are saying, how come Michael Souls is carrying the ball and not Blake Marshall? Well, Blake Marshall is week to week right now with neck problems, reoccurring neck problems from a year ago, and they will judge him on a weekly basis. So that means Michael Souls and the other Canadian, Brian Walling, will be in the backfield tonight, and we certainly hope Blake gets back soon.
Henry Williams to the near side. Gary Morris, the Eskimo wide receiver, to the far side of the field. On first down, Williams makes the catch away from one tackle. He cuts back inside and looks for open field to the far side. And realistically, he didn't gain much more than he had when he made the catch.
Sure looked good, but I think he only got about an extra 2 yards out of that whole thing.
Gain of 8 yards.
But really, the premise is good for Henry Williams. Get him on the hitch, get the ball in his hands quickly, and then let Henry do his thing. And although his thing this time didn't amount to a great deal, it sure looks good for the fans.
Eskimos, 2nd and 2 after an 8-yard gain. There was some early movement, but no flags down as Allen goes to the far side and has great running room. He's inside the 15. Damon Allen gets the Eskimos deep inside Sacramento territory. The Gold Miners looking for a better pass rush from White, Hammond, and Ledbetter. Middle linebacker Curtis Moore is flanked by Leonard Nelson and Pascal Davis.
In defensive secondary, we're showing you the 5 starters here, but they will use as many as 6 and 7 defensive backs at one time to try and slow down the Edmonton passing game tonight.
30 yards for Damon Allen on the previous play. That sets the Eskimos up. Inside the 15. Allen under the cover. Morris makes the catch, gets up, and fights his way to the 2-yard line. Gary Morris, in his 3rd start for the Eskimos, has 10 yards and an Edmonton first down.
And Sacramento zones to the wide side of the field when Edmonton puts 3 receivers out there. So Gary Morris lets the other 2 clear out for him, and an easy pass for Damon Allen to complete. Gary Morris, who Ron Lancaster says is going to be a tremendous receiver for them. He's got all the skills at 6'2", 205. He's a great target. He makes a nice play getting it down to the 2.
And it's 1st and goal to go Edmonton from the Gold Miners 2. Everyone inside. And there was no room that time for Michael Souls. Caller number 25 ran smack dab into the Eskimo running back number 32. Actually a loss. Well, no, they'll spot it back at the 2.
Always amazes me how 1st and goal from the 2, you bring in the short yardage team, and you get it to the 1, then you bring in the pass offense team. Never quite figured that one out.
A little anyway, bit of a mystery.
That's what Ron Lancaster decides to do here, and he brings all the receivers back in.
And there was early movement there. No signal of a touchdown as Allen carried himself. It is a touchdown indicated. A different play. 2nd and goal to go from the 2.
Well, you can see Damon Allen. Hey, there was movement, but it was Rod Kahn up the center. He just snapped it quickly and caught everybody by surprise on Sacramento's side. And the center can never be offside if he snaps the ball. And he can do a legal procedure if he kind of fakes the snap, but he put it up into Allen's hands and really caught Sacramento off balance there.
Fleming adds the point after, and quickly the Eskimos lead the Gold Miners 7-0. A great night at Commonwealth in Edmonton. The hometown Eskimos off to a quick start. This is CFL Live. Ready for the kickoff. After the Eskimo touchdown, Edmonton leading 7-0 on Sacramento, and Willie Platts, the undisputed leader of that Eskimo defense, number 39, tries to get a pretty good crowd at Commonwealth into this game tonight. 7 plays, 60 yards, in a time of 4:13, finished off by Damon Allen's 2-yard rush.
And really it was the bootleg by Damon Allen, his run that set everything up and totally fooled the Sacramento defense. You know, Damon Allen has been running so selectively this year, and when he has done it, he has truly been effective with it, and it has certainly made this offense much better for it. Gary Morris, who made a nice catch down the two beside him. Gary Morris was originally a draft choice of the 49ers back in 1991, and he came and spent last year on the practice roster with Edmonton, and now has worked his way into the starting lineup. But as I said to Lancaster, any receiver that's been drafted by the 49ers must have some talent, right? Pretty good credentials, and Ron certainly endorsed that assessment, said this guy's going to be here for a long time.
Fleming's kickoff. Pringle on the return, number 27. He's out across the 25. So let's see how the Eskimo defense stacks up against David Archer this time. They lead the league in sacks. Roberts, Woods, and Goods are up front, backed up by a superb group of linebackers led by Willie Pless, as we mentioned, along with Leroy Blue and Larry Ruck. That is a great group.
Yeah, really the only change they've had over the last few weeks has been Robert Holland on the corner replacing Ed Berry. All he's done is had 3 interceptions in 3 games. So this is a solid secondary, and apparently Ed Berry's going to be healthy next week, so it'll be interesting to see what they do.
First down, and they keep it on the ground for the first time. There is nowhere to run for Oliphant, or rather for Pringle, number 27.
Nowhere to go. Tony Woods had him initially, but a wave of Eskimos came and helped out for the drop.
One of the things I find fascinating about the Edmonton defense, of course, we told you in the opening that they lead the league in sacks with 35, but when you think that 12 different players on defense have had at least 1 sack, I mean, to me, that is phenomenal. Kind of tells you Sacramento's had 12 sacks on defense the whole year. Here you got 12 players that have at least had 1. That's unbelievable.
West and Benny Goods have 13 between them. Archer standing in. Had protection for a moment, but it breaks down, and there's sack number 1 for the Eskimos. Tony Woods.
Tony Woods gets it, but trust me, it's the coverage behind him that allowed him the opportunity to keep working and working and working, and finally getting a sack on David Archer. His offensive line does a good job here. This is plenty of time to release the football. Simply downfield, the other 8 Eskimos that were in pass coverage just out-hustled the Sacramento receivers.
Pete Gardere standing at his 10-yard line. Got it away, not by much. Good kick. He punted last week for the Gold Miners. 35 for the Giz on his first punt return. Not much that time. He has 2 for touchdowns this year. Pascal Davis, number 95, leading the tacklers. 7-yard return after a booming 56-yard punt.
Pascal Davis with the tackle.
Well, there you see the all-time, or the punt return leaders on the season. Henry Williams, not surprising, as he usually is every year, out in front of the pack. But we have 2 of the best here tonight, Freeman Basinger, and, of course, the Giz.
This time the Giz to the near side. Gary Morris to the far side of the field. Good fake by Allen.
Great job by Chris.
Williams makes the catch. He has plenty for the first down. He's inside the 45. Stopped there by Charles Franks, number 17. 27 yards, and what a great beginning for the Giz, Henry Williams.
Oh, and a great beginning for Damon Allen, too, with his play action. His fakes have been superb. He freezes everybody, and Henry Williams just hangs on the sidelines, and he is wide open. They are in a deep zone coverage. Hesh Kohler, number 25, well off Williams, and Damon Allen's early recognition here tonight has been superb.
Eskimos 1st and 10. Allen circles, and he's tripped up by number 73, Mark Ledbetter.
And Mark Ledbetter is the best pass rusher of the front 4 of the Sacramento Gold Miners. And one of the key things they wanted to do tonight was to try and contain Damon. Hey, they know he's going to get some yards running, but have the defensive ends keep a contained outside leverage position and not let Allen get to the outside. That time, Ledbetter forced Allen back inside. They make the play.
5th sack of the year for Ledbetter. 2nd and 17 for the Eskimos now at the Sacramento 51. Allen operating from the shotgun. He had time to throw, and a man open over the middle, but the receiver went down. Lee Miles, number 80. was the target that time.
It's interesting how both defenses so far early in the first quarter have relied on just 4 people up front to get a pass rush and much more concerned with dropping off 8 in pass coverage. And that time it worked for the Sacramento defense.
Enter Glenn Harper, averaging 40.8 yards per punt so far in 1993. Not much of a breeze at Commonwealth tonight. 5:53 to play.
Just a gorgeous night here, early September evening here in Edmonton. Beautiful warm day and a lovely evening here to play football.
Markers are down. Harper put the boot to it anyway.
What's the promotion here too? All kids kindergarten to grade 9 get a free ticket into the game tonight as a little bonus before heading back to school.
Yeah, it's students' night.
That's great.
And a pretty good crowd on hand. Sacramento Gold Miners have been a decent draw as they've made their way through the Canadian Football League this year.
Illegal procedure. Offense number 47, 3rd down repeated.
Larry Ruck must have moved just a little bit early. So 3rd and a bigger bunch, but not really a big problem for the Eskimos. Harper steps back near his 40 now. Basinger under it. Near the 15, this is Freeman Basinger. Stumbles and really didn't regain his footing after that. 2-yard return, a 42-yard punt, and Errol Martin lets Edmonton leading by 7. This is CFL Live from Edmonton. Here's what the Edmonton Eskimos and the Sacramento Gold Miners are facing tonight. The Stampeders leading the way. BC and Saskatchewan in second spot. A win gets Edmonton into a 3-way tie for second place after the same number of games. Sacramento fighting for their playoff lives already with a record of 2-7.
Well, they really are. And when you look at Ron Lancaster's schedule the next few days, you know, Sacramento has to be thinking, hey, we can ever squeak one out of here tonight. Edmonton's got Calgary twice in less than a week, so and we've got Ottawa next weekend. So, hey, for David Archer and his bunch, they have to be thinking this is a pretty important game for us.
1st and 10, Sacramento beginning at the 15. Here comes the pressure on Archer. He got it away. Titus Dixon. Good catch. Fell down and got up again. He's out near the 40-yard line. Stopped there by Damian Lyons. Good speed by Titus Dixon for a 4-yard gain.
And I think the Sacramento Gold Miners each week have learned better schemes to utilize this field. This time Titus Dixon comes all the way across the field, and no way Larry Ruck can stay with him, and that's his 41st catch of the year. Falls down but gets up and keeps going. But each week I think Sacramento's offensive scheme is getting a little bit better as to how to use this wide field to the max.
Dixon to the top of your screen this time, number 8. Rod Harris, number 81, the wide receiver near side. 1st down. Archer on target. Beautiful pass and drop by Mike Oliphant. My gosh. Sacramento receivers dropped a couple of critical passes last week in Saskatchewan when the Gold Miners lost by 3.
Now, Mike Oliphant doesn't do this too often. Nice matchup against Larry Ruck down the sidelines, and this has been a big play for them throughout the course of the season, sneaking him out of the backfield and on the out and up, and he's had some big plays from this one. Just couldn't hang on to it that time.
From the 39, it's 2nd and 10, Sacramento. Shotgun for Archer. Here comes the rush. He releases in time and comes up short with a strike to Carl Parker. Number 86, and Willie Pless was there. Superb year again for Willie Pless. He is around the football on every play, according to Lancaster.
Well, the Edmonton Eskimo, 2 inside linebackers, Larry Ruck and Willie Pless, when they are in zone coverage as they were there, they are eyeing the 2 inside receivers of Sacramento so closely. If they run hooks, as Parker did right there, they are so close to them, ready to make the play. And of course, you saw the result. They keep them well short of the 1st down.
Pete Gardere gets another pretty good rush and gets it away. Henry Williams waiting to get his mitts on the ball, looks to the other side. looking for room outside, lost the ball, and who comes up with it? It looks like the gold miners have recovered. Pringle, number 27, Mike Pringle. And also close to the play, 71, Brent White.
Well, Gibbs just lets the ball slip out of his arms, and that's happened to him occasionally throughout his career, and really nobody hit him or anything when the ball's loose, and I do believe it was 27 Pringle that made the recovery, but all this will go for naught as the Sacramento Gold Miners violated the 5-yard rule, and Edmonton will retain possession, so a break for the Eskimos.
They will not lose possession on the fumble by the Gibbs. He might be a little bit anxious tonight, closing in on that Bennett record.
Oh, I talked to him before the game, and he said, hey, Leaf, I'm going to break it tonight, and I'd like to do it with a big one.
51, green and gold, 1st and 10 from there.
Eskimos. 1st and 10, Edmonton 51. This is Michael Soles. Soles met by number 71, Brent White.
We have 4 on the play. Curtis Moore in on the stop.
Leif, you mentioned a moment ago that Sacramento would try to contain Damon Allen. They just re-emphasized that to their defensive linemen, saying, don't go after this guy. If anyone's going to sack him, it'll be a linebacker on the blitz. Your job, keep him where he is and make him run up the middle.
I think it's a pretty good philosophy against Allen because his running can certainly deflate a defense in a hurry.
He had one 30-yard run earlier in this game. Over the middle, complete to Brian Walling, and that'll be an Eskimo first down. Number 34 has his first catch, stopped by Charles Moore, a 14-yard gain. Eskimos had a great day in Sacramento on the 31st of July at Hornet Field. 7 sacks, 3 interceptions, and that was likely the worst game that the Gold Miners have played.
Yeah, that's what Kay Stevenson said. He said that was just the low point maybe of our season was that one.
1st and 10 Eskimos at the 42. Allen, far side for Gary Morris. And he stopped at the 35 by Bobby Humphrey. 7 yards that time.
Bobby Humphrey in on the tackle.
Kay Stevenson and his Gold Miners still looking for their first road victory, still looking for their first win in Canada.
Well, they had a great chance last weekend in Regina. It just came up a little bit short. They were shut out in the 4th quarter of that game, and Saskatchewan came back with 16 points to beat them. Tough loss.
Eskimos leading by 7. This is 2nd and 3, and it opens up quickly. For Brian Walling, 2nd straight catch. And Chris Moore made the tackle again. Curtis Moore, I should say.
Nice quick read by Damon Allen with the backer coming. Brian Walling sneaks out of the backfield, an easy target for Allen to hit, and boy, Damon Allen seems to be totally on top of his game tonight. A couple of catches for Brian Walling, his first 2 of the season, actually.
The Eskimos are set up at the Sacramento 20, first down. 2 receivers wide to the near side. Allen pumped once and looked for Morris. It was tied up by Heshmu Kolar.
Walter Bailey with a coverage and a penalty marker down.
Well, they're trying to pick on Hesh Kolar with a hitch and go pattern. They tried it a couple of plays ago with Gizmo, but it wasn't there. And you're going to get a good look at it right here. Here's Morris, and as he goes up, stops on the hitch and then breaks it upfield. Kolar has no chance just to grab him by the jersey, and you'll see the interference clearly here, but he was going to be beaten. Watch how he bites on that hitch right there. Boom, now he's in trouble, and actually he made a good play. If there's such a thing as a good penalty, that was probably it.
Yeah, the other way it looked like end zone and 6 points. This way the Eskimos come up with a plus 13 and their 1st and goal to go at the Gold Miners 7. End zone toss off target for Morris on the far side. Humphrey was covering number 39.
Damon Allen and I had a great chat before the game. We were talking about Bobby Humphrey and what kind of plays maybe he was vulnerable to, and Damon said, well, he's easier to beat when he stays off my receiver. When he comes up and bump and run, it seems to, that's when he plays his best coverage, and you saw a great example of it there. He was all over Morris from the bump and run positioning.
Eskimos are 2nd and goal to go from the 7. Allen, end zone toss, and Henry Williams couldn't bring it in. Got one hand on it, couldn't make the catch. Derek Davis was covering.
David Allen looking for Giz all the way on the post, and Giz could only get one hand on it. That's one of the few times tonight Sacramento has brought in the extra defensive back, and they are successful with it.
23 seconds left in the opening quarter, ready for a field goal drive.
Still a good drive by Damon Allen, though, wasn't it?
It really was, all the way down to the 7-yard line. They'll settle for 3 from Sean Fleming there, and the Eskimos have the lead at 10-0 on the Sacramento Gold Miners. From Commonwealth in Edmonton, CFL Live.
Edmonton leads Sacramento 10-0 after the first 15 minutes. The Eskimos' customary fast start usually leads to a win. The Eskimos have won every game in which they have scored first, and that includes a victory over Sacramento earlier in the year. So we asked Kay Stevenson what he thinks of the Eskimos after getting one look at them up close.
They do enough, you know, offensively. I think they've got a good offensive football team. They've got some big play people. Eddie Brown, certainly we were very familiar with from last year. Their quarterbacks can come up with the impromptu. Excellent running backs. Good up front. They're solid. They're a solid football team. Defensively, you're right. They play a sound, solid defense. They're where they're supposed to be. They know who to get, who to pick up on coverage, and just do a good job. And I think that's evidenced by the fact that they're plus, I think they're like plus 20 takeaway, giveaway category, and they lead the league. And that's usually the sign of a very well-coached, sound football team that can do that.
Kay Stevenson makes a great point about the plus 20 for Edmonton, and I want to just expand on that after this play by Sacramento because it's pretty interesting.
1st and 10 from the 35. Archer hit in the throwing motion. Robert Holland, number 17, was through, and there was pressure there as well from Errol Martin. First quarter is over. It is 10-0. Edmonton leading Sacramento.
Pool the Master's Way and learn from the best. Two of America's favorite and
Welcome back to Commonwealth in Edmonton, where the Eskimos lead the Sacramento Gold Miners 10-0. After the opening quarter, the Eskimos dominated just about every phase of the opening quarter statistics. Sacramento now first down with Dixon and Harris split wide. This is actually 2nd and 10 facing Archer. Standing in far side, penalty markers are down. Archer is on target, and another marker is down.
Dave Archer popped outside to Carl Parker, but a penalty marker down.
Parker was the receiver. And a face masking call will go against the Eskimos. And then there was holding back at the line, so a couple of penalty markers down on this.
Yeah, I'm sure we're going to end up just with old 2nd and 10 offsetting.
Holding, number 33 on the offense. Major foul, face mask, number 17 on the defense. It's first down for the offense, up 5 yards. 1st and 10.
Also, with the major foul, becomes automatic.
1st and 10 at the 40.
The Eskimos, 1st and 10 for the Miners, ball on their own 40-yard line.
Archer for Basinger. He has another first down.
Tell us straight.
Freeman Basinger gets inside the 50. Eskimos dominating the opening quarter, and the time of possession tells much of the story. 10:08 to 4:52, favoring the Eskimos.
1st and 10, ball on their own 53.
The scoreboard reads 10-0 Edmonton. 13 yards for Basinger. Archer time, near side. Basinger makes the catch. Well short of the first down, or did he hang on?
Basinger again.
Glenn Rogers Jr. was covering,
In the neighborhood.
and he didn't hang on.
Would have been back-to-back catches for Freeman Basinger, but he kind of looked at the hit coming before he was able to really hang on to that pass.
2nd and 10 Miners, ball at their own
Ed Rogers with a nice rookie season. 1 interception. They used him occasionally on the blitz, and he has had 1 sack so far. One of the 12 defensive players for Edmonton to have a sack this year.
2nd and 10, Sacramento. Dixon and Harris, the wide receivers. Archer shotgun. It opens up. Archer doesn't run often, and he doesn't run that effectively. He's well short of the first down. As Leroy Blue stepped in to make the tackle after a 4-yard gain by David Archer.
And Leroy Blue coming on the pass rush, and Archer gets by him and gets downfield, and this is probably one of the drawbacks of a David Archer. He just does not have that elusive running ability and does not have plan B. If his receivers aren't open, running is really not an option for him.
Pete Gardere standing at his own 42. High snap, he brings it down. Good kick. Here's Henry Williams taking it on the dead run and stopped near the 30-yard line. Brent White leading the tacklers, a 12-yard return, so the Giz is still closing in on a milestone. It's the Eskimos by 10 on CFL Live.
Damon Allen has been asking the Eskimos all year long to let him play, and now they have. He's gone wire to wire in the last 2 games for the Eskimos. Damon Allen talked to us about being the starting quarterback for the Eskimos.
Well, it takes time, but hopefully, I was hoping that it would happen a lot sooner, but unfortunately, it didn't. And as far as the shuffling of the quarterback, it really didn't allow me to really get into a flow of games. So it was difficult at first, but now I'm very comfortable. I'm putting the guys in the right situation, and I know what I want to do on the football field. And so right now I'm just playing and reacting.
John, it's interesting. Back in early August, the Eskimos really hit the low point. They lost at home to BC, then went to Winnipeg and got hammered. And, their season seemed to turn around in the next game. They traveled down to Toronto, beat Toronto 45-14. But it was in that game that Ron Lancaster said, Damon Allen will play the whole game. We're not fooling around with changing quarterbacks anymore. He's going to get an opportunity to go the whole way. And since that game, it seems like this whole team has turned around. Of course, the offense with it.
Yeah, they've won 2 in a row. That game over Toronto and also over Hamilton last week by big score. Tough running inside. Michael Souls got the call and ran into Brent White, number 71. Gain is 3. Solid start for Damon Allen. He's marched the team effectively, 6 of 9 for 81 yards and a 10-0 lead. One of the interesting stories about Allen and the Eskimos this year is they lead the league with the fewest interceptions, 6 in total, despite some inconsistencies on offense, and Allen has thrown only 4.
Yeah, I think that's what Kay Stevenson was talking about in his clip about them being plus 20 in the take-give department, and that's certainly a big reason.
Allen on 2nd and 7. Good catch, far side of the field by Eddie Brown. Walter Bailey made the tackle. Brown has 12 yards.
And Brown has 10 touchdown receptions so far this year, best in the league for any receiver, and he makes a terrific one-handed catch here. Watch this. This is pretty.
30th catch of the year for Eddie Brown, one-handed. Talking about 30 receptions, that's a touchdown every 3 receptions.
Not bad.
Allen has the time and just shovels it ahead for Michael Souls. He bowls his way to the 55. Van Tammon, number 79. On the tackle for the gold miners. The gain looks like about 9.
Michael Souls is such a kind of an unassuming running back. He doesn't give you the huge numbers every year, but what he gives you is great dependability. A little slip screen in the middle, and he makes the catch. Slips the tackle of Curtis Moore, and what looks like a small play ends up with almost a first down.
2nd down and 1. Actually, it's a short yard. And Brian Walling has enough for the first down for the Eskimos to keep this drive rolling. He has 4 yards.
Brian Walling fighting his way for a first down.
Keelan Matthews in on the tackle for Sacramento. Edmonton leading 10-0. 10:59 to go till halftime.
Watch Curtis Moore, 94, in the middle of your screen. He's the middle linebacker. He's the guy that has to make the play in short yardage. He can't make the tackle on Walling there. Had a chance to keep it short of the first down, but really second tackle he's missed in a row. He missed Souls over the middle on that little screen, too.
Another Eskimo first down as Allen keeps this drive rolling. Quick pass, Brown makes the catch. Slanting in behind the linebackers.
Getting Eddie Brown on the slant inside. Makes the grab.
You know, one of the things, John, that Kay Stevenson talked about, we'll get back to that plus 20 that Edmonton is and leading the league in the take-give. And, you know, they are last in total offense, but they are right up there in touchdown scored. So what that tells me is they take advantage of those turnovers. That plus 20 has translated into a lot of touchdown opportunities, and Damon Allen and his group have really capitalized well on them.
Gain at 6. This is 2nd and 4. Allen, a little quarterback draw after his receivers appeared to be covered. Coal Miners are coming off a close loss in Saskatchewan last week, and they've had a couple of close calls. July 17th against Calgary, against Toronto, and then last week by 3 against the Rough Riders at Taylor Field. That's 3 losses by a total of 7 points.
Yeah, and I talked to Kay and I had a little walk tonight and a chat about the season and what's gone on. And I said to him, you know, you lost that game against Calgary, but from a selling your product standpoint to your home fans, I'm sure you lost the game, but that was one of the best games that anybody could ever watch. I mean, the excitement level was just there for the entire ballgame. He agreed. He said, but, you know, one of these times it would be nice if we could come out on the winning side of one of those games.
One of those close ones in particular, yeah. 9:35 to go till halftime. 1st and 10. Eskimos at the Gold Miners 42. Here comes the pressure. Allen gets away. Still on the run, and he surrenders right there.
Allen tries to swing it outside. Can't.
Matthews
From Michael Souls.
was there, number 37, minus 5 yards.
For the Miners.
Matthews does a great job, and exactly what the coaching staff wanted him to do, and the front four, is to keep that outside leverage on Damon Allen, and he did that. Allen really had nowhere to go. Keelan Matthews just said, hey, you're not getting outside of me, and he did a nice job to keep Allen contained to the inside.
Gary Morris, number 5, to the near side of the field. It's the Giz. Henry Williams, flank to the top of your screen. 2nd and 15. Good fake by Damon Allen, who stands in JP Esquerdo. No catch. As a result, no fumble, but Esquerdo had it right on the numbers and couldn't hang on.
Terrific hit by John Wiley, the middle safety. We're going to show you what JP Esquerdo does there. He'll work his way into the zone, but watch Wiley come up and just uncork on Esquerdo, and he cannot hang on to the football, but a good throw by Allen. I mean, he put it in the perfect spot, and here comes Wiley. And there it is right there. Boom, right into the chest and knocks the ball loose with his helmet.
Gold Miners' secondary has been pretty well intact much of this season. Wiley has been there to start every game. Harper's punt on 3rd down, Edmonton. This is Freeman Basinger looking for room to the far side. Pretty good hit down there near the 25-yard line. Number 90, Johnson. There's the score, and we'll be back to Commonwealth.
Back in Edmonton with injured Eskimo running back Blake Marshall listed as week-to-week on the injury list. Blake, does that mean you may miss Labor Day?
Yeah, there's a chance. If there's one game I want to be back for, it's Labor Day, but we're being cautionary, and there's a good chance I won't be ready.
This is a reoccurrence of the neck injury that kept you out last year, and I think anytime there's a neck injury, there's concern. How concerned are you?
I'm concerned. It's starting to play on me a little bit mentally, but I'm trying to stay with the, keep a positive attitude and do everything I can to get back in the lineup, and I'll just go from week to week for now.
All right, Blake, speedy recovery.
Thanks, Gord.
No doubt a bit of a worry for the Eskimos. Blake Marshall has not been the Blake Marshall in 1993 that we've been accustomed to seeing.
No, he's had to wear so much extra equipment that it really debilitated his movement on the field, and I think that catches up with him too.
Here's Oliphant on 1st and 10, and he's very close to a first down for the Gold Miners.
Kicked it outside, close to a first down.
Brought down by Larry Ruck. Oliphant with 5 rushing touchdowns, as Leaf mentioned, and 5 passing touchdowns. Pretty stingy Eskimo defense. Fewest points against, fewest touchdowns, obviously. Fewest touchdowns passing, most quarterback sacks, and then that best turnover ratio you were talking about, a plus 20.
Boy, those are 5 pretty positive categories to be leading in.
8 of 9, this is 2nd and 1, Gold Miners. And that'll be the first down for Sacramento. Pringle, the ball carrier, number 27. Benny Goods, number 40, the tackler for the Eskimos. Mike Pringle averaging 5.3 yards per carry. He got 3 on that play, but enough for the first down.
Both backs, Pringle and Oliphant, have nice averages, and somewhat surprising to me that maybe they don't try and run the football a little more than they do.
1st and 10, Sacramento at the Gold Miners 37. Basinger makes the catch, and he's out near first down territory. Rogers, Glenn Rogers Jr. And on the tackle that time. Let's see where they spot the ball. Enough for a first down, or will they measure? They'll take a look at this one. Edmonton leading 10-0.
You know, I don't think there's a defensive coordinator around the league that isn't impressed or a bit afraid of David Archer if he gets in a rhythm and is allowed time to throw, as it seems he is tonight so far. And well, I think he could really put some impressive numbers up during a game if he is just not sacked and sandbagged all night like he has been throughout his first 9 games.
Yeah, it's about 5 times per game.
Yeah, that's too many.
Archer's on the carpet.
Well, think of all the pressures that go along with those roughly 5 a game. And those are his numbers for tonight. Not too bad.
50% so far. First down here. Wide open far side, Oliphant. Has to bring down. We'll check that Mike Pringle, number 27.
I think David Archer's short passing game tonight has really been a good concept. He's recognized quickly that Edmonton is forsaking the rush and dropping off 8 people, so consequently he has to throw underneath it to his backs as he has to Oliphant and now to Pringle. Play action to freeze everybody. You see it freezes Larry Ruck, 47. He can't get out there in time, and before you know it, Pringle's got 9 yards.
Rod Harris, number 81 to the near side. It is a 9-yard gain, 2nd and 1. And that'll be enough for a first down as Pringle gets the call once more.
Spins for 4 yards, brought down by Errol Martin.
Melvin Hunter, 46.
That Melvin Hunter
stop after a 5-yard gain. Eskimos been rather happy with Hunter's play. He's got great speed.
Best drive that Sacramento's put together tonight, and they are mixing it up nicely between the pass and the run. And obviously the key for them has been the production that they've been able to get on first down, always 2nd and short.
3 receivers to the near side. And Oliphant looked to be closest to that pass from Archer. Wilson was there for the Eskimos. And West never far away.
Sorry, John. I think one thing that Sacramento is doing better tonight than I've seen them do in the past is to spread out that receiving core. You know, trips to the wide side, a couple back to the weak, but really spread them out and try and widen those passing lanes. Of course, if Edmonton is in zone and if they're in man, then they've got a lot more field to try and maneuver their defensive back. And Sacramento's doing a better job with their offensive schemes tonight, I think.
2nd and 10. Archer can't find anyone open. Takes off for the 2nd time, and he's across the 45 to about the 43. Been there by Don Wilson. 6 yards the gain, and it's 3rd down.
Don Wilson there for the 10.
Henry Williams onto the field for the Eskimos, closing in on that all-time punt return total yards in his career. He began the game 65 yards away from the record. He is now 5 yards away. So I would say, Leaf, right here, we'll get a chance to count him off to a record.
Unless they kick it to the other guy.
Well, yeah. There's that possibility. Or they kick it out of bounds and there's no play, but the Giz does have it this time. Needing 5, and he got about 3. Safe to say
he didn't
he'll
want
break
to
it
do it
tonight.
on that one anyway. Not with that 5-yarder.
He wants a big return. Eskimos by 10. CFL Live in Commonwealth. Kay Stevenson trying to find a way to win in Canada for the Sacramento Gold Miners.
Hey, great story about Kay. You know, as we chatted before the game, I said, you know, it's a great fast-paced game. And he said, oh, God, he said, that's what I love about this game so much. He said, you know, I finally had a break the other night, and I watched an NFL preseason game. This is Kay talking, of course. And he said, you know, it was funny after being so involved in the Canadian game for a few months now. He said, geez, they ran on first down. They ran on second down, and he said, I was wondering why the heck they didn't pass on second down. And he said, on third down, he said, I wondered what they were doing when they didn't bring the punt team in.
Third and long.
So he's full-fledged CFL man now.
Well, he loves the game. He's got a lot of great things to say about Canadian football.
So does his buddy there on his right, John Payne, his offensive line coach, who, of course, was the head coach in Saskatchewan and the head coach with the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Kay was pointing out yesterday as well, Leif, that it is a great spectator game, more exciting in his opinion, but he says it is not a game from Mars. It is still football as he tries to sell it to the fans in Sacramento.
Yeah, he has to sell it as a brand of football with a few different quirks in it with rules and field, but it's not a totally different game, and I think he's right.
Brian Walling, off tackle on the right side. He's better than halfway to the first down. Stopped by Tejada, a 6-yard gain. Yeah, it's still execution, and you have to pass the ball and run with the ball and make some tackles.
And you have to tackle. And Mark Ledbetter, the defensive end, missed the tackle on Brian Walling on that last play. Great opportunity for Walling with the injury to Blake Marshall. Now he's been with the club for 6 years, and strictly as a backup capacity and special teams player. For now, he's getting an opportunity to play, and I suspect Marshall's injury may be more serious than Walling. May get a lot more playing time.
2nd and 4, and the Eskimos come close to it with Michael Souls carrying. Brent White, number 71.
No, it used to be a priority for the Edmonton Eskimos to establish the run early in games, but they've slowly changed their philosophy. I think it has something to do with Adam Rita being their offensive coordinator. He thinks it's a lot easier to get first downs through the air, but Edmonton usually leads the league in rushing department. This year they're 4th, and their outlook on offense has slightly changed.
New offensive coordinator. Things have a tendency to change a little bit.
19.5-yard line.
3rd down, about a yard to go. A little less than a yard, and the Eskimos go gambling here. No markers down. Let's see where they spot the ball. It should be an Edmonton first down.
And a first down.
So that gamble pays off, although it is not a huge gamble, even that deep in your territory. Less than a yard to go. You should be able to get that.
First and 10, Eskimos ball at their own 21-yard line.
Lovely day in Alberta earlier. The sky looks a little threatening up there right now. Eskimos with 12 first downs compared to 7 for the Gold Miners. Here's another Edmonton 1st and 10. And again, it's Michael Souls.
Michael Souls takes the handout.
4 yards. Souls.
4 yards on the play.
And he was brought down by Greg Jolson, number 98. 2:41 till the half. It is the Eskimos by 10, and this is the CFL Live from Commonwealth.
Almost everything you hear about Sacramento is how the Gold Miners are adjusting to the new style of play in the CFL. It may be as difficult on the linebackers as it is on anyone. So we went to Sacramento linebacker Curtis Moore and asked him what he thought of the new game.
Obviously, the most glaring rule is the 20 seconds between plays. You know, it's mentioned a lot, and most people have been under a 45 or maybe 40, you know, depending on the NFL or the World League. And the 20 seconds, you really just don't realize how short a time that is between plays, because you can't match the tempo in practice or any other setting besides the games. And then once you do get in games, you really have to react and adapt quickly and get things done quickly. So that's the most obvious rule that I can think of that we've had to get geared towards and really know about, and it's affected our game the most, is the 20-second rule.
Curtis Moore was involved in a little Gold Miners history, blocking the first punt in franchise history last week against the Rough Riders. He leads the team in tackles with 42. Second down and 6 to go. The Eskimos trying to get out across the 30-yard line. Allen, good fake. Here comes the pressure now. Markers are down, and so is Damon Allen. So the Sacramento defense holds, and it looks like the Eskimos will be kicking this away.
Damon Allen actually lost the football here as he will move back up into the pocket. And you watch this, it just seems to squirt out of his hands. It was knocked away by one of the Sacramento pass rushers. I believe it was 73 Mark Ledbetter, but Allen was able to recover.
Number 53 on the offense. Penalties declined. Third down.
This is a good opportunity for Sacramento here. They've held Edmonton deep at their own 21-yard line, and now unless Harper gets off a boomer, they should really get it around midfield, and a perfect spot for them to try and get back into this game. They trail by 10, which is nothing. But I think this is a point close to the end of the second quarter here that they can find themselves with a good opportunity to get back in this one.
Yeah, the defense has done its job for Sacramento on this sequence. Not a deep kick. Taken by Charles Thompson, and he's across midfield and just inside Eskimo territory. Souls leading the Eskimo tacklers. And we'll see what David Archer can do with the football here. Best field position of the night for the Gold Miners.
Well, this is great to start on the other team's 51, and David Archer's been very patient tonight. Has not forced any balls in downfield, used his backs nicely out of the backfield in the short zones, and I think that's what he has to do here. He's got 2 minutes to go, plenty of time.
At the 51, it is first down, Sacramento. Archer to his right. Complete to Mike Pringle, number 27. Leroy Blue in on the tackle, a 12-yard gain, and a critical first down for Sacramento.
Mike Pringles, he's protecting in case Blue's going to blitz. He sees him drop off. Now he goes out in the flat, and watch Pringle cut underneath Blue right here, and Blue loses his footing. Can't understand why guys fall down tonight. This field is absolutely in perfect shape, but good job by Archer to get it to Pringle. Easy pass to complete.
Now inside the 40 as Archer looks deep. And Basinger was the intended receiver. No markers anywhere upfield.
Well, Basinger instigated the contact downfield. He initiated it.
Now second and long.
First time tonight Archer's really tried to force one into a guy that wasn't open. So Edmonton now will counter on 2nd and 10. They bring Doug Parrish in, the 6th defensive back.
And David Archer still clicking along at 50%, just under 100 yards. Big down here for the Gold Miners, 2nd and 10. Archer, no time. He's down for the second time.
Leonard Johnson comes up with the sack, and he is playing in his second game. He's one of the defensive linemen that has rotated in. They always have fresh people, and he just simply beats the right guard, Ron Shipley, and comes up with the sack. And, well, when Edmonton was pressured in their own end, they have so many times this year come up with big defensive plays. Leonard Johnson, of course, came over in that big 8-for-8 trade with the Toronto Argonauts. And he is making his presence felt here tonight with a big sack.
So here's the Giz. He is 2 yards short of the all-time punt return record of total yards in his CFL career, held by Paul Bennett of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Yeah, and you have to know that Giz knows exactly where he is, so I'm sure he's thinking, well, this is it. Let's make it a good one.
Yeah, but he wants to break it with a bit of a flair. He wants a bit of a super return here, rather than just a couple of yards. Will he get the opportunity?
We'll save it for the second half.
Yeah, I guess we will. 1 point. Sacramento on the board, trailing by 9 with 1:22 to go till halftime. And every time the fans get excited about Giz and the record, he really doesn't have much of an opportunity. But safe to say it will fall tonight.
Well, he said to me before the game, I was kidding him, you know, he had a 100-yarder called back last week, and he said that's the one I wanted to do it on, but it was called back.
Yeah, I think he'd like to do it at home at Commonwealth, though, failing the 100-yarder last week.
And you're talking about a guy that does somersaults when he scores. I mean, he wants to do it with some flair attached to it, not just a little minuscule one that breaks the record.
After the single, first down Edmonton beginning at the 35. Here's pressure on Allen. He escaped.
Allen
And another drop pass.
Tries to hit
J.P. Esquerdo.
with a pass, goes incomplete.
It's a couple of times he hasn't been able to hang on.
No, he usually doesn't do that, too. He's been a very dependable backup receiver for the Eskimos and, of course, for the Argonauts before he, too, came over in that big trade. But he's getting an opportunity to play tonight. They've shifted around, of course, with the injury to Jim Sandusky, and it's actually the third game that he has started, and he doesn't do that too often, but that's the ball he really should have caught.
2nd and 10. Sacramento has a chance to get the ball back here with a big play. Out Banner, and Eddie Brown has the first down. 19 yards. And the Eskimos are out near midfield. John Wiley forcing Brown out.
And if there has been a problem area for Sacramento, it's been the inside halfbacks giving up the big play. That time, Tejeda could not stay with Eddie Brown. And that is a pretty crucial first down because Sacramento might have had an opportunity to get the ball back and maybe score some points. But with this first down, I think Edmonton can pretty much kill the clock.
Yeah, I think they can run it down here. Allen on first down. Esquerdo was in the area, but the catch is made by the Giz.
Or they can take it downfield and get some points of their own. And Henry Williams does an outstanding job to just stay in bounds, you see, as he clears Humphrey. Humphrey has the short zone, lets him go by, and Tejeda should pick him up deep. Watch Williams stay in bounds. What a terrific play that was. And all of a sudden now, with back-to-back catches by Brown and Williams, the Eskimos have a great opportunity with lots of time left to add to their 10-1 lead.
Yeah, 24-yard gain there, 1:03 on the clock. Edmonton leading by 9 at 10-1. And first down Eskimos inside the 35. Allen has trouble with another snap. Makes the catch, and he's picked out as he looks for Williams down the sideline. This is Humphrey out near the 42.
Damon Allen picked out by Bobby Humphrey. The Giz, the intended receiver, 26-yard return.
Yeah, this was a little difficult for Allen here. He was off his timing a bit after mishandling the snap from center. A little high.
He does a nice job just to get it back, and then by the time he is able to set up and throw, he just doesn't get anything on this football as he's almost falling down, and that allows Humphrey the time to step in front of Williams, make a very crucial interception for the Gold Miners, and with 50 seconds remaining, they get the turnover late in the second quarter here. Second interception of the season for Bobby Humphrey.
Archer on first down. Short of another near the 50-yard line as Basinger makes the catch. He was pinned by Larry Ruck. Number 47, 46 seconds till the half.
6-yard pickup on the play. 2nd and 4 Miners, ball at the 50.
Right on the 50-yard line. Archer, Basinger again. He'll have the first down.
Should have gone out of bounds.
Yeah, 35.
Archer and Basinger tried to get out of bounds.
Well, I'll guarantee you it wasn't something Basinger did.
No, because he was surrounded by the guys in the green shirts. So Archer will get a little something tacked on here. And with all the guys in the area, it might be a serious infraction.
And Sacramento's done a nice job with Basinger and Carl Parker, their two slot backs, at crossing them tonight. And
major foul, face mask number 14 on the defense. It's first down.
Yeah, that's Doug Parrish.
So all of a sudden, the interception by Bobby Humphrey has given his team the football. Archer with a couple of completions and now a face mask, and they're certainly in range for a field goal attempt and maybe more.
33 seconds till halftime. First and 10 for the Gold Miners. At the Edmonton 38. Here comes the charge. Archer stands in and fires. Intending that for Titus Dixon. He was short. Dixon, number 8. He drew coverage from Damian Lyons.
Pretty big play coming up for Sacramento here, and they're trying to kill the clock in the first half and maximize their points. And with 2nd and 10, Well, they've got a nice opportunity to take it down and try and work it in for a touchdown, but
not really in field goal range here, Leaf, with Jim Crouch hitting his longest of the season at 37 yards. They need at least a first down to get into his range. They'd rather have the touchdown with 27 seconds to go. 2nd and 10, Sacramento. Archer, shotgun. Basinger makes the catch, and he stopped well short of the first down. A gain of 2 yards. Good defensive play by Glenn Rogers, Jr.
Gain of 2 on the plate. 3rd and 8 Miners. Ball at the
3rd and 8.
35-yard line.
Here's what's ahead at halftime. The Ferroni File will update everything that's happened in sports today. And check out the story as Leaf sees it in this game at Commonwealth tonight.
And David Archer is letting the 20-second clock wind down. He will call a timeout at the 2-second mark. As 1-second mark, I guess. And they will bring in the field goal team. A pretty smart move to kill the clock and save it for the last play.
We talked about Jim Crouch, his longest field goal in Canadian football. 37 yards. 16 of 27 on the season, 59%. So they're asking a lot of Jim Crouch here with the ball spotted on the 42-yard line. He's got the distance, and he's got the field goal. Jim Crouch hits the goal miners within 6. His longest field goal in Canadian football from 42 yards out. It is 10-4 at the half. Much more ahead from Commonwealth as the Eskimos battle the gold miners on CFL Live.
This is an effort to reach...
Edmonton up by 6 after the first 30 minutes. A low-scoring first half here in Edmonton. And the Eskimos lead 10-4. Seems like the Edmonton Eskimos and the CFL stress involvement in the community for their players, and many of their players are involved quite directly through employment. This week on the Ferroni File, Dan Ferroni looks at CFL players who moonlight.
As a fan of the CFL, you would probably never look at these guys as anything more than football players. That's why it may surprise you to know that more and more players nowadays are making a living not only on the field, but off the field as well. Take Randy Ambrosie of the Edmonton Eskimos, for example. On the field, it's his job to protect the quarterback. Off the field, it's his job to protect the client as a financial advisor with the Midland Walwyn Group in Edmonton.
And the second one that we chose for your RSPs, and we have it in both of your accounts, was the Dynamic Partners Fund. Even if you have a wonderful career and play 10 years, which is well beyond the average career in the CFL, that's going to make you put you in your early 30s. We're not making the kind of dollars in the Canadian Football League that you're going to retire on when you're finished playing. I would also say that we're making good money. We're making a good living for young guys with young families. The CFL is providing us with a good income. But I don't view this job as supplementing my income as much as I do looking at it as providing me with a future. Oh, there's always sacrifices, and you know, I have a 2-year-old daughter at home, and you know, my wife is a lawyer, and so she leads a busy schedule as well, and there are times that you feel like you're two ships passing in the night, and you know, there's the odd day that I get a tremendous amount of anxiety about that, and I sit and say, you know, are we doing the right thing? Should we be doing, you know, should we be burning the candle at both ends? But we sit down, and my wife and I will, you know, we've quite often sat down and looked at the bigger picture and said, you know, we're comfortable with this.
Here with Randy Perosi, another injury victim tonight. How's your knee?
Right now we don't really know. It's wait and see till after the game and tomorrow and doing an evaluation of it. I mean, this is a pretty bad knee to begin with. So
every time you get hurt, whether it's the first time or the fifth time, it's an eye-opener, and the reaction is almost always the same. It has been for me. You know, this injury now that's going to lead me to my fourth knee surgery, you know, sometime down the road here, has stood to reinforce my decision to have another career, and not just to have a job. There's lots of jobs. It's a career. It's something that you love waking up in the morning to go and do, and something that you'll stay late in the day to do, and that helps me. I think it's also comfort for my family. I think my wife feels comforted by the fact that she knows that this business excites me and that I'm good at this business, and people react well to me, and that gives me more confidence. So yeah, you do have a reaction, but in the end, this business has really helped me to get over the humps.
It's important to prepare for life after football. Football's definitely going to end. As for me, well, I'm still in the weight room, but finally I own it. Hey, he's cracking heads for a living. And definitely, this is someone you're not going to see this week on Football Ferroni Fashion. I'm Dan Ferroni for CFL Live.
Good buddy. The Sacramento Gold Miners are hanging in at Commonwealth in Edmonton, the CFL Live. And Henry Williams is on the verge of breaking the record. He is all even with Paul Bennett after his performance so far in the first half.
10-4, good buddy.
Wow,
I like that. Yeah, how about Henry Williams? You know, he's going to break Paul Bennett's record. They are tied right now, and he will do it in the second half. But I think the interesting thing about this, Paul Bennett had a terrific career. He did it in 11 years. Henry Williams is now in his 7th season with the Edmonton Eskimos, and of course he will be the new all-time punt return leader after tonight.
There they are, dead even. Henry Williams with 17 career punt return touchdowns, including 2 this season. And we were talking during the telecast, Lee, it would be really nice to see him do it with a big run.
Yeah, do it at home, and I think that makes it all the more special.
It's coming up in the second half, live from Commonwealth, CFL Live. Here's the stat story at halftime at Commonwealth in Edmonton. 150 yards passing for the Eskimos. Net yards, 204 compared to 122. Time of possession, a big part of the story in Edmonton's 10-4 lead on Sacramento. 18-16 to 11-44.
Well, I think one of the things that Ron Lancaster has to be very pleased about his defense in that half. Sure, they didn't get a lot of sacks, which they're famous for, but their pass coverage was absolutely flawless in that first 30 minutes of football, and the reason why Sacramento only has 4 points. They had pretty good field position a few times, but just could not make anything happen with it. For Kay Stevenson, hey, only 6 points down at halftime in a very difficult park to play and win in. I think he should be happy with that as well.
Gold Miners very much in the ball game, and the second half is underway. Lee Miles with a fine kickoff return to get the Eskimos out to the 45. He covered 33 yards after the kickoff. And again, the Eskimos with a good special teams play, decent field position to begin with.
Yeah, Lee Miles is only about 5'5" and best 150 pounds. A recent cut of the New York Giants. And someone that the Eskimos have followed and wanted to get. They've got him, and we might see him a little bit tonight, although Ron Lancaster wasn't sure about his playing time.
Yeah, that's been rather even. 16 rushing plays, 17 passing plays for Damon Allen. First and 10 Edmonton, 43-yard line. Draw play. Here's Michael Soles. Hard running for a first down, number 32. Michael Soles, net 13.
14 yards.
Lancaster talked about wanting to run a little bit.
Yeah.
He's done it effectively.
Chris Morris does a nice job. Watch out. He wheels Brent White out here, and then you got Steve Krupe coming right up on the linebacker. And, boy, that's a nice setup there. There's Krupe. Hey, faces to the outside. Now he's got Soles right up the middle, gets the block on Johnson, the middle linebacker. What a nice running play to begin the third quarter.
Across midfield now to Sacramento 54. Edmonton first down. Damon Allen out of the pocket, nowhere to go, and a penalty marker down in the Eskimo
Damon
backfield.
Allen takes off. James can't get away from Brent White, who makes the tackle. Penalty marker down.
3 yards the gain. We'll check out the infraction. There's another marker down in the Sacramento secondary. Here's Bud Steen.
Holding number 53 on the offense. Illegal contact on an eligible receiver, number 17 on the defense. They're offsetting penalties. It's first down repeated.
Second holding call against number 53, Mike Dumoulin. Here's how the quarterbacks stack up in this one so far, with Allen holding the advantage, 11 of 17, solid night, 1 interception. And David Archer, 10 of 18 for 114 yards. It's a 6-point ball game. Edmonton leading 10-4. First and 10 Eskimos. Back at the 54. Allen unloaded in a hurry for Eddie Brown.
Allen looking for Eddie Brown.
And he was blown away.
Charles Frank's covering. Second and 10.
Damon Allen sure made the right read, though. They had Keelan Matthews, 37, blitzing from Eddie Brown's side, so that opens up the quick look-in pass to Eddie Brown. It's simply a little low and away for him, but certainly was the right read for Allen. Just couldn't connect on the pass.
Second and 10. Eskimos at the 54 with a 6-point lead. Allen shotgun. Here comes the charge. He got it away with no problem. And fired high.
Allen, nice looking pass.
For Gary Morris, number 5. Coverage at the end by John Wiley, number 7, the safety.
Well, both coaches feeling that their teams were their own worst enemies in the first half. Ron Lancaster telling his team to stop shooting itself in the foot, while Keith Stevenson told his guys that the only adjustment they'd try to make was get out of the second and long situation so that the Eskimos wouldn't know it was coming.
Glenn Harper and his 41 on third down. High kick. Basinger looks for it near his 5. Now he's chased back right to the 1. And a great kick by Harper, who pins Basinger in at the 1-yard line. Esquardo leading the tacklers, along with Errol Martin. Just a 2-yard return after a booming 52-yarder. Live from Commonwealth, the CFL Live.
And Eskimo coach Ron Lancaster was a pretty fair quarterback in his own right, and he knows a good one when he sees one. We asked the Eskimo head coach what he thinks of Sacramento's starting quarterback, David Archer.
You know, you look at Sacramento and everybody, you know, they always look at their record, 2 wins, 7 losses, whatever it is. I just think they had a chance to beat Calgary, Toronto, and last week in Saskatchewan. They are a good football team, and David Archer makes them go. If you give David Archer the time to throw the football, he throws the football as well as anybody in North America. He can throw it. And to stop Sacramento, you have to put them on defense, keep Archer off the field, and that means get after him, get him in a hurry, and force him to punt the football and get him off the field. He's just the type of guy that, as everybody knows, if they read statistics, as you say, he's right up there in passing yardage, completions, and so on. But he's the type of guy that stands in there and takes his beating, and he takes it well. I think he's just a good quarterback, and he's great for this league.
Last week against Saskatchewan, 25 of 40, 327 yards. Archer in a hole right here, beginning at the 2. Underthrowing his receiver on the far side of the field, Rod Harris, number 81. Harris got 6 for 99 and a touchdown last week.
Ron Lancaster's comments were interesting. You have to get after David Archer. Well, he certainly has the defense to do that. We told you tonight that his defense leads the league in sacking the quarterback. And although they haven't had a lot of sacks tonight, they've had enough pressure to keep Archer off balance.
Yeah, the Gold Miners have been passing twice as much as they have been running the football. 2nd and 10 from the 2. Archer stands in, sideline pass. Titus Dixon looks to be the closest receiver to the ball. He was being covered by Damian Lyons and looking for a flag, but there was nothing there.
So here it comes. With this punt return, if they kick it to Williams, he will become the CFL all-time leading punt returner. And there you see it. He will surpass Paul Bennett at a very illustrious 11-year career with those 3 teams.
There's the cheer for the Giz.
Oh, crowd knows it.
Pete Gardere, in his 2nd start for the Gold Miners, will have the honor of helping Giz set the record if he gets it here. He fell, he got up, and there's the record, folks. The Giz, all-time CFL leader in punt return yards. Number 1. And he fell down, still managed the 27-yard return. There is no doubt he is the best who has ever returned punts in Canadian football.
Well, and good for you, Henry. I think this is the way you would have wanted to do it. Through the spectacular. Well, we will reserve our judgment on this one. It was a great return, but a penalty on the play.
I never saw Marker leap.
Well, it was a clipping call, so that will wipe out the return of Henry Williams, so we can get the excitement level all over again.
Sam and Mack have exchanged.
Eskimos at the 47. First down, Damon Allen. Marker's down as Allen escapes from the backfield. He'll have enough for the first down, pending the outcome of the penalty.
Allen takes off, and good hustle by number 94, Curtis Moore, to bring him down.
Nice run by Damon Allen, but this too will come back, as I believe the Eskimos will be called for holding, but number 66
on the offense, first down repeat.
I think pretty good speed by Curtis Moore, 94, the middle linebacker, to get Allen from behind. He's a pretty speedy quarterback in the open field, but Moore with some nice speed to get across and trip him up, but this will come back.
Back to the Giz for a second. We're still trying to determine with the official statisticians of the Canadian Football League where they gave him the football and how much yardage before the clipping infraction. Apparently it was 10 yards, so that is enough for the record. By 10 yards, he was tied with Bennett. So the Giz does, in fact, have the record, but he doesn't get credit for 27 yards on the return.
And we have an official
6,368, and here is the announcement in Commonwealth.
Now they're announcing it to the crowd here. Now listen to this.
There goes the Giz, and that's been said a time or two during his 7-year CFL career. Second down and 20 yards to go. Make it 2nd and 15. And the Giz couldn't catch up with that one.
One more time, we got a break. Give it up to the Giz.
One more round for Henry Williams. Third down, punting situation for Glenn Harper, standing at the Eskimo 25. Freeman Basinger lets Charles Thompson carry, and maybe there was method in his madness. 10-4, the Eskimos have the lead. We're early in the third quarter at Commonwealth in Edmonton, and the Giz has the record. want to see a happy guy? That's David Goff. He just won a special presentation here at Commonwealth Stadium, and he won a check for $50,000 on the draw.
1 out of 100 or so that qualified were drawn on the field with a chance to pick at one of 100 bags.
And you didn't have to get the...
No, Ken Bowman. Yeah. Got to put Ken Bowman's in the paper.
Who's Ken Bowman?
Ken Bowman's a friend of mine. And he said, Dave, pick a number
And down by Dermott before the break.
and go with it. Don't second guess yourself. So I said 31.
He picked 31 and won $50K.
Not bad.
Archer on first down, Sacramento. Byron Jackson made the catch. He's well short of the first down. Stopped by Don Wilson, number 20.
Well, we talked about this play, the quick screen to the wide receivers, a bunch this year. And really, defenses have seen this one for at least 10 years. And I really have yet to see this play be successful. They only got about 4 yards on that. And really does not take the defense by surprise any longer.
That makes this 2nd and 6. And Archer works the shotgun. Standing in over the middle, he's got Basinger, and he couldn't make the catch.
Archer, another good-looking ball. This one intended for Steven Basinger.
I think he might have made that catch, or might well have made that catch.
You're going to see to the left of your screen, number 1, Basinger will come clean just in behind Willie Pless. Now the ball's in the air. A perfect timing by Archer. And, well, would have been a tough catch, but... the Archer could have given it to him a little quicker, but certainly the scheme was good. They just didn't get the result from it.
8:58 to go, third quarter. Eskimos leading the Gold Miners 10-4. Gardere just got it away. Here's the Giz with a little pizzazz. And a man in front, out to the 42.
Begins the 10-yard return.
Every yard adds to the CFL record. An 11-yard return after a 36-yard punt.
Well, he is going to keep setting a pretty impressive mark, and I'm not sure this one will be broken for some time, but congratulations to Henry Williams from all of us.
Came after a 36-yard Gardere punt. 1st and 10 Eskimos, ball at their own 41-yard line.
Damon Allen at the controls for the Eskimos, 11 of 20 for 150 yards. First down Edmonton at the 41. Michael Scholes. That'll be another Eskimo first down. Stopped by Leonard Nelson, number 90. Scholes has had a good night.
Yes, he has. He has run the ball well, had a couple of catches over the middle, but kind of that rambling, rumbling style of running back. There's not a lot of finesse, but when he gets up a good head of steam, very difficult back to bring down in his tracks.
11 yards in that previous play, 10 carries, 51 yards on the night for Michael Scholes. The Eskimos, 1st and 10 at the 52. A fake to Scholes this time, and it didn't fool all of the Sacramento defenders. Damon Allen has to run for his life, but he does that well, and he's near first down territory. A gain of at least 8.
22, Derek Davis got a pretty good hit on him at the end of this play, but the play actions that Damon Allen has gone with tonight have totally fooled the Sacramento defense, and in fact, Mark Ledbetter had some pretty good leverage on it, but you'll see that Allen was able to get outside. Davis has good coverage on Lee Miles in the game replacing Williams. Now he comes up and tries to put a pretty good hit on Allen, although Allen was able to duck underneath him.
Now he's shaken up after the 9 yards he picked up.
Actually, I think maybe he took a knee in the back or in the ribs from Derek Davis as he slid on the ground. And, of course, that means that Ricky Foggy, who will always be the number 2 quarterback to come in a game for the Eskimos, either Tom Mickey or Allen would always start. And Ricky Foggy will be the relief pitcher in their offensive scheme.
Allen being attended to, and he will come out for this sequence at least. The medical staff checks out quarterback Damon Allen.
Well, you know, he was stretching just that little extra bit, John, down the sidelines to try and pick up the first down, and instead of maybe going out of bounds and avoiding the hit, and you can't fault him for that. He's really a player with a tremendous amount of desire to do well for his team, and as he stayed in bounds, took the hit.
Eskimos lead it 10-4. They haven't exactly run away and hid.
One more look. Derek Davis, watch the, I believe it, right knee. Catches Allen right on the right shoulder or rib area.
At Commonwealth, Damon Allen has the Eskimos in the lead. And he's up and off under his own steam. He has rushed well, 46 yards and a touchdown. And Henry Williams established the CFL record for punt return yards, 6,368 and climbing. Beautiful night in northern Alberta. I suppose if you were watching up there, what do you think?
We'd have a pretty good viewpoint.
Second down. 1 to go. Foggy at the controls for the Eskimos with Allen on the bench and Ricky Foggy. Looking to have enough for the first down.
Foggy's a pretty good guy to bring in anyway for a 2nd and 1 quarterback sneak. I think Damon Allen will be back in.
First down, the signal for the Eskimos.
Foggy with 27 completions in 57 attempts. 424 yards passing so far this season. Couple of interceptions, but 4 touchdowns. And at a point, Ron Lancaster was mixing it up with Foggy and Allen, substituting them freely.
Yeah, it wasn't working, and he just decided, hey, Damon's the guy that's going to take us, so let's let him have all the playing time.
Foggy has the first down. He's off target, intending that for J.P. Esquerdo, number 23.
John Wiley in on the coverage.
Damon Allen appears ready to go back in, but I think Ron Lancaster is going to just give Ricky Foggy the rest of this series. Give Damon Allen a little extra time to get ready.
Eskimo offense has had to make several adjustments with 4 starters on the sidelines in the last 3 weeks, including Sandusky, Marshall, and Ambrosi. And now, Damon Allen, at least for the time being. 2nd and 10. Foggy gets pressure. He's nailed as he fired. Far side. Esquerdo was the intended receiver. Coverage was too tight, and he couldn't make the catch.
Ricky Foggy really had no chance on this one as he stepped up into the pocket. Pressure coming heavy right up the middle. It's 79 Van Salmon, and he puts a tremendous hit on Ricky Foggy.
So the Eskimos have 2 quarterbacks hurting in about 3 plays.
He took a solid hit there.
Allen is up on his feet on the sidelines, and Foggy is shaking out that last hit. 3rd down, Edmonton. Eskimos lead it by 6 at 10-4. Here's Harper's punt, another good one. Basinger had nowhere to go. Forced out by number 43, Jed Roberts, after a 5-yard return. Who will quarterback the Eskimos? We'll find out when we return to CFL Live from Commonwealth.
Back at Commonwealth Stadium, where Eskimo quarterback Damon Allen has suffered a minor shoulder injury. It's his non-throwing or left shoulder. They say he's all right, but there is some concern on the Eskimo bench about just how strong his left arm is. Allen assures him he's ready to go in, but the final decision will rest with Ron Lancaster.
In the meantime, the Eskimos have to get the ball back for whoever the quarterback might be.
It seems like Sacramento, except for one drive late in the 2nd quarter, has really played on a long football field tonight. The Eskimos have owned the field position battle.
On first down, a big hole opens up for Mike Pringle. A solid run by Pringle, getting him out to the 30-yard line and getting the gold miners away from the shadow of the goalpost. Stop made for the Eskimos by Malvin Hunter, number 46. Nice run.
Now, the Sacramento running game with Oliphant and Pringle has been excellent tonight. And Pringle picks his spot up there. They get the good block on Benny Goods and finds some nice running room to get them out of trouble. And Well, if I'm David Archer in a 6-point game, I kind of stay with this. This has worked well.
That was the first down in the second half for the Gold Miners. Oliphant this time. And he runs effectively as well across the 40 for 9 yards. Stopped by Don Wilson.
Sacramento does a nice job wrapping with their offensive line, and 61, Jim Jennings, the left guard, threw a nice block for Oliphant that time. But as they did late in the second quarter, they are now once again getting good production on first down, setting them up in second and short. You know, that's what Case Stevenson said coming out after halftime. We've got to do a better job on first down.
On 2nd and 1. No penalty marker. David Archer himself, and that would be a first down. Right into the heart of the Eskimo defense with Jed Roberts, and Benny Goods, and Tony Woods. 3:42 to go. Third quarter. It's only a 6-point ball game. This is really a key series for Sacramento. Still hovering around 50%. 11 for 22, 118 yards. The intended receiver was Mike Pringle.
Intended for Mike Pringle and
Willie Pless.
The Terminator in on the coverage and
got in on the play, and I think he got a hand on it.
And look who comes on the halfback blitz is 20, Donnie Wilson, and he's really the one that breaks up this pass play. As he hits Archer's arm, and then Willie Pless with the tip right there. But when you talk about a team defensive concept, Wilson with the pressure, Pless with the tip. These guys work so well together. Donnie Wilson, he too coming over in that big trade in the offseason with Toronto.
2nd and 10 now, Sacramento at the Gold Miners 41. Archer shotgun. Here comes the charge, and Archer sees it open up. This time he gets the first down himself. A 12-yard gain for David Archer. We talked about him, not noted as a rushing quarterback, although at one time in the NFL he led all quarterbacks in rushing.
Well, this time he had to. Once again, he was trying to hit Basinger, but super coverage dictated that he run with it, and he knows where the first down marker is, and instead of the normal little slide, he gives it a better one there to pick up the last 2 yards and keep this fairly impressive drive going.
12-yard gain. 1st and 10 at the 52. Good fake by Archer. And the pass wasn't as good as the fake.
This sideline for Oliphant, incomplete. Robert Holland covering.
The outside receivers have not done a great deal for Sacramento. This was intended for Titus Dixon, number 8.
Now the play fake, and Archer was looking that way, and, you know, he thinks he's open, but by the time he got past Holland, Archer just simply didn't have time to pick him out.
And he was looking the wrong way. Dixon over the wrong shoulder. This time it is Rod Harris, number 81, near side. Titus Dixon to the far side of the field. From the 53, 2nd and 10. Archer stands in and delivers this time. Dixon makes the catch.
That's a great catch, too, and that's the kind of catches that Sacramento is going to need to get back into this football game. They trail by 6, but you know, that's what Case Stevenson said. We just had not have made the big plays at the right and crucial times, and that time Titus Dixon over the middle with a super catch. And once again, Archer with time to throw picks out a receiver.
An 18-yard gain, setting Sacramento up at the Eskimo 39. This has been an impressive march for the Gold Miners. 3 receivers to the near side. Michael Oliphant. A little draw for 7 yards.
7 yards on the play.
Well, as impressive as David Archer has been this season, and he has been, what the Eskimo defenders are most impressed by is the way he stands in and takes a shot. The Eskimo defenders say after watching the film of Archer, he will wait until the absolute last moment to deliver the ball, often taking a brutal shot, and he gets up every time.
Gordy's like Timex.
Keeps on ticking. 42 sacks coming into the game. 3 tonight. Well read by the Eskimo defense. Stopped short of the first down. Michael Oliphant.
Wilson in the Sacramento backfield.
That was 2nd and 3, so it is about 3rd and 2.
Yeah, this is the counter with Oliphant back up through here, but watch Donnie Wilson come and boom. Hey, they go helmet to helmet right in the hole, and it's Wilson that wins this battle. Coming on the blitz, boom. What a terrific play by Donnie Wilson. You know, the Edmonton Eskimos like to use their halfbacks in blitzing situations every once in a while, and, you know, he has the sack on the season. Rogers on the other side has the sack. They're pretty effective with it.
3rd and 2. And the gold miners go for it. Oliphant hit in the backfield.
Donnie Wilson.
Wilson again, number 20. The gamble does not pay off. A blitzing Donnie Wilson hit Mike Oliphant in the backfield, and the gold miners come up a little empty.
Well, Donnie Wilson took control of this game in a hurry on back-to-back plays. Watch to the right of your screen. He will right up the middle actually slice through, and Mike Oliphant did not have a chance. Just too many guys to block up front for Sacramento, and you see Wilson's reaction. He knows he's made the big play.
Yet back-to-back big plays, as you said. Eskimos take over on downs. That will count as a turnover. Allen is back in at quarterback on 1st and 10. Looking deep. Esquardo is downfield. Covered by Charles Frank, number 17. No penalty markers, and that is quarter 3 with the Eskimos hanging on to a 6-point lead. From Commonwealth, this is CFL Live. Ready for the 4th quarter at Commonwealth, a 6-point ball game. Edmonton leading 10-4. Eskimos 2nd and 10 at the Edmonton 32. Early movement, no flags, and now one comes down. Allen running for his life, and he got away from 3 Sacramento defenders and fired back for Michael Soul.
David Allen zigzag, hooks up with Michael Soul. Penalty marker down.
You may be wondering why Sacramento would go for it on 3rd and 2 from the 31. Well, part of the problem is the field goal kicking of Jim Crouch, whose longest of the year was 37 yards, and at 59%, he's the lowest-ranked field goal kicker in the league. It might have been the percentage move by K. Stevenson to go for it on 3rd and 2.
But he hit from 42 earlier. I don't know.
Go figure.
2nd and 5. Eskimos ball at the 37.
Connected on his longest field goal in Canadian football earlier in the evening. With the penalty, 2nd and 5 Edmonton. That'll be enough for the first down. 8 yards. Keelan Matthews
for a first down.
in on the tackle. Brian Walling slow to get up after making the catch.
Leading the Sacramento charge.
Net yards, 242 for the Eskimos through 3 quarters compared to 198. So the gold miners gaining a little bit. Turnovers are even. And the gold miners gaining a little bit on the superb drive that Archer put together, but they didn't get any points out of it. Markers down quickly.
Penalty on the play.
Looks like a procedure call.
Illegal procedure, 6-0 and 6-1 on the offense. Down repeated.
Chris Morris and Terrace Chorney. So all of a sudden, from 2nd and 5, it's back to 1st and 15. Eskimos at the 40-yard line. They lead by 6 at 10-4. Lots of time remaining. 13:37 to go, 4th quarter. Catch is made by Souls. Did he stay in bounds? Yes, he did.
They say he did, and what a terrific catch that was. A nice matchup on Curtis Moore with Souls coming out of the backfield, and boy, Damon Allen read it perfectly. The blitz was coming.
Penalty marker down 2 leaf in the Eskimo backfield.
Major foul, roughing the passer.
Number 90 on the defense. It's first down.
Leonard Nelson.
He was coming on the blitz, and it looked as though they may get Damon Allen, but he released the ball just in time, and Michael Souls with a tremendous catch down the sideline, so they will tack on another 15, and once again the Edmonton Eskimos are on the move. It looks like they have had control of this game, but, you know, heck, here we are in the fourth quarter, and they only lead by 6.
Not a big lead at all. 35 yards for the Eskimos, 20 on the reception, 15 on the penalty. Here's Allen set up and decides to escape, sliding across the 30-yard line down to the 29. He's got 5. Brent White pinned him there.
Yeah, he just snuck underneath Brent White as he put his head down. I'm sure Ron Lancaster would like Damon Allen not to take on the tacklers as he did there, but you can't fault the way he has run throughout his career, but he was lucky. Brent White was really zeroing in on him.
Eskimos having a pretty good night running the football. 113 yards so far. This is 2nd and 5. Allen near side. First down. J.P. Esquerdo. Stopped by Charles Franks. That's good for 11 more.
On 2nd and 5, a nice call, a quick out with the inside receiver Esquerdo, and Charles Frank 17 slips on the play, and that gives Esquerdo a little bit more room. I think the Sacramento defensive backs at certain times in the game have to realize the situation. You know, 2nd and 5, I think they have to gamble and play a little tighter on these Edmonton receivers and try and force the play a little more than they are.
Henry Williams to the near side. 1st and 10 Eskimos at the Sacramento 19. He goes for it all, and this is J.P. Esquerdo. Damon Allen not far off target. Esquerdo was in behind the cover.
Well, he really was, but it was one of those types of passes that had to be feathered in there, and with John Wiley, the safety, coming across, Damon Allen really had to throw it a little harder than he would have liked to. You see, if he feathers it in, Esquerdo's in behind Franks, but, you know, to the left of the screen there, you've got Wiley coming across, and it's one of those things where, you know, you couldn't throw the kind of pass you wanted to.
We talked at the outset about how important this game is to the Eskimos. It's the game that would allow Edmonton to move into a 3-way tie for 2nd spot in the Western Division at 6 and 3. But with the Stampeders coming up twice in 5 days, this is a monster game for Edmonton to win. There's an injured gold miner on the field. That's Vance Hammond, number 79. We'll check him out and return to Commonwealth in just a moment. 10-4. Edmonton leading Sacramento on CFL Live. Here's the Eastern Division, with the Blue Bombers running away with things right now. The Ticats in the midst of a miserable slump. They have lost 6 games in a row. And then it's Ottawa and the Argos. Looking ahead to the week, it's BC and Ottawa Saturday, Winnipeg at Saskatchewan on Sunday, Edmonton and Calgary on Monday, and Toronto Hamilton as we get into Labor Day madness in Canadian football.
Well, you look at the East, and Toronto and Hamilton playing their Labor Day matchup on Monday night. Toronto was only 2 points. Hamilton was 6. Toronto is as miserable as 93 has been for them. They have a chance to get right back in the thick of things. They made a big trade. You know, they got Patrick Wayne and Keith Poe in from BC, and that will certainly help the defense that's been awfully porous.
Not to mention Pierre Vercheval, picked up from the late cuts in the National Football League. The Eskimos, who had Vercheval last year as an all-star, just a little bit upset that he ended up in Toronto, perhaps a little even up for the 8-for-8 deal. What do you think?
I don't know, but I think a little upset would be putting it mildly. I think they always felt that they had a commitment from Pierre Vercheval that if he was released by Detroit, he would come back to Edmonton, but he chose to sign with the Argonauts, and a big break for Toronto to get him.
This is 2nd and 10. Damon Allen looks for it all. It's picked off in the end zone. Grabbed by Charles Franks, number 17. The intended receiver was Eddie Brown, and the gold miners are not going down easily. 2nd interception of the night.
Yeah, really, Damon Allen, I think, was fooled by the coverage. He's looking for Eddie Brown, but Charles Franks is really in what they call technically a cover 2 defense, and that means he is free deep, and he just reads the quarterback's eyes and then will make the play. And Charles Franks just did a superb job. His 3rd interception. of the season so far. Here he is right here. And watch him. He's just drifting back in here. And as Eddie Brown comes up here, sorry, this is Telestrator Penn skipping a little bit on me tonight, but you'll see Franks move back, and as the ball is overthrown, he's right there to make the play.
Archer near side, and he has Carl Parker.
Archer to Parker,
first down.
7 on the play.
Parker 30 for 428 yards and a couple of touchdowns so far in 93. 7 yards in the previous play.
Miners 2nd and 3. Ball in the 32-yard line.
Titus Dixon and Rod Harris, the outside receivers for Sacramento. The Gold Miners trail by 6 at 10-4. A little swing pass coming out of the backfield for Mike Pringle. And 1, 2, 3, 4 Eskimos met Pringle. Led by Malvin Hunter, number 46. He loses a couple.
Well, Hunter made the tackle, but it was Don Wilson, number 20 again, who was there to initiate the play and make the initial contact on it, and he has had himself some kind of second half. A couple of big short yardage plays, and now he initiates that one in Sacramento, once again forced to give up the football. And you know, although they've only trailed by 6 for it seems like an eternity, it's just, you have to wonder, are they ever going to be able to put something together? And is 6 points enough for Edmonton to hang on to this one?
I don't think 6 will decide it tonight. Big kick. Pete Gardere in his second game. Here's Henry Williams. He has already set the CFL all-time rushing yardage or punt return total. Another 28 for the Giz. Stopped by Pascal Davis.
The youngest known birthday greeting tonight.
He is simply the best. Henry Williams, number 1 on the CFL all-time list.
Edmonton leading Sacramento 10-4 in the fourth quarter. The third quarter has really been a problem for Sacramento this season, averaging just over 5 points a game scored in the third quarter with none here. And Kay Stevenson and company have really been puzzled by the team's poor performance in the second half. Normally teams get better after the intermission, but his team has seemed to come up a little flat.
Another offensive stat that's rather interesting. The Gold Miners average about 400 yards a game. Now that is fairly decent, but a little misleading because they've only averaged 27 points per game. So they picked up yardage late in the game when games have been a little out of control as far as other teams are concerned. First down, Edmonton. Souls escapes one tackle. He's across the 55 and down to about the 52. Stopped there by Leonard Nelson.
I think Gord's point is really well taken. Kay Stevenson can't quite understand why his team is so flat. I mean, and no better example than last week in Regina. They played a super ball game and first gave up 16 points in the fourth quarter to lose, and were not able to score any themselves. And well, that becomes a mystery. Damon Allen, pretty good night for him. I think he would be a little happier if he didn't have the 2 interceptions to blemish that record. But on the season, only 6 and 13 touchdown passes, still a pretty good ratio.
2nd and 4 now after Souls picked up 6. Procedure call going against Lancaster's Edmonton Eskimos. But the coach won't be pleased with that. All of a sudden it's 2nd and long, 2nd and 9. Tom Mickey will make a note.
2nd and 9 Eskimos, ball on their own 52-yard line.
9:37 to go, fourth quarter. It is Edmonton leading 10-4. On the Gold Miners from Sacramento. Damon Allen needs 9 for a first down. Hit as he throws, but it's enough. On target. Gary Morris.
On the crossing
Morris
pattern.
Needed 9. He gets 10. First down, Edmonton. Vance Hammond made the tackle.
And the key here is for Damon Allen getting the protection to throw, because he's wanting to hit Morris on the underneath pattern. And that means let the linebackers get their drop. And now Morris is totally underneath the linebacking core with lots of room to run with it. And he picks up the first down. But the key really is time for Allen to throw. He had lots of time. Pressure came late.
First down, Edmonton. Now at the Sacramento 47. Souls again.
Michael Souls.
He has had a terrific night. Again, Leonard Nelson on the tackles. Hard running by Michael Souls.
Mike Souls got a great block from number 34, Brian Walling, on Leonard Nelson. To the left of your screen right there at the initial point of contact. Souls able to spin away from Nelson's tackle and pick up a few more, but he has had a great night. Boy, I always remember Souls in the 1987 Vanier Cup when he set a single-game rushing record of 205 yards. What a day he had.
Yeah, for the McGill Redmond back then.
Yes, it was.
Solid special teams player as well. He had 8 yards in the previous play. And he got the call again. Michael Souls gets 3, and that's another Eskimo first down.
Gets the first down for the Eskimos. Curtis Moore.
Gradually, the Eskimos are wearing down the Sacramento defense.
Well, you know, we talked about the time of possession tonight, and it truly favors Edmonton. And so what that finally does is wear down Sacramento's defense. They have been on the field a lot tonight, and you know, it takes a lot of physical strength to fight blocks when you're running, and Edmonton's just shoving the ball down their throat right now.
First down. This time, Brian Walling, number 34. And he's inside the 30. 6 yards for Walling.
Another good first down running play, and the Edmonton offensive line has really kind of taken control of this game here in the fourth quarter. They're getting a good surge and push off that line of scrimmage, and Souls and Walling picking the holes, and they're just wearing this clock right down.
2nd and 4, again, a short yardage situation for Damon Allen. Standing in and looking for the home run toss. Walling was the intended receiver. Allen was off target.
Big beat back there.
Damon Allen realized that if he didn't hit Walling early as he left the line of scrimmage, he really had no chance to hit him late, and I think he just simply threw that one away to make sure nobody got it. And the worst thing that happens is Fleming comes in, and who knows, they got a 6-point lead. Picking the holes, and they're just wearing this clock right down.
2nd and 4, again, a short yardage situation for Damon Allen. Standing in and looking for the home run toss. Walling was the intended receiver. Allen was off target.
Big beat back there.
Damon Allen realized that if he didn't hit Walling early as he left the line of scrimmage, he really had no chance to hit him late, and I think he just simply threw that one away to make sure nobody got it. And the worst thing that happens is Fleming comes in, and who knows, they got a 6-point lead. A 9-point lead may be insurmountable. The way Sacramento's had difficulty moving the football tonight.
37-yard field goal try for Sean Fleming. 5 for 5 in his last game against Sacramento. 1 for 1, a chip shot earlier tonight. 3 more for Sean Fleming and the Eskimos.
37 yards out.
He's 2 for 2, and it's 13-4. Edmonton leading Sacramento. 6:40 to go on CFL Live. We'll be back here at Commonwealth a week from tomorrow with the Calgary Stampeders in town to meet the Eskimos. 9:30 Eastern Time starts. The Battle of Alberta renewed, and they'll get together on Labor Day, Monday, in Calgary.
Boy, that makes that game so important when you're playing a team back-to-back. You love to get the upper hand in the 2-game series. But that should be a good one a week from tomorrow here at the Commonwealth, Calgary and Edmonton. One of the great rivalries of all time in Canadian football.
Damon Allen shaken up a little earlier. Came back to engineer a drive for a field goal that makes it 13-4. Edmonton leading Sacramento.
Okay, Stevenson said something interesting to me tonight. He said, you know, Edmonton's offense just waits for you to make mistakes on defense, and it somehow, you know, with a broken play or a missed coverage, they take advantage of it with the big play. That's what they've done all year. But, you know, to their credit tonight, they have not given that to Damon Allen, and certainly one of the reasons why Edmonton has only scored 13 points, and it's been a very stingy Sacramento defense.
Gold Miners are 1st and 10 at the 35. Archer hit as he threw. He gets jammed.
And it's the firm of Goods and Woods.
Yeah, pretty important.
To do the damage.
of the quarter.
See at the lower part of your screen, blue is taken, but a spin move by Benny Goods on the right guard, Ron Shipley, and Archer is so vulnerable. He tucks the ball back into his credit, but takes the big sack tonight. Well, it's amazing what happens when you get time to throw, and that time David Archer had pretty good protection up front to pick out Rod Harris, his leading receiver. 51 catches coming into tonight's game and 5 touchdowns. Their most productive receiver, obviously.
23 yards on that play, and that was a critical first down for Kay Stevenson's Gold Miners.
Yeah, it really was. 5.5 to go in this game, and Sacramento desperately needs to get it downfield. They need 2 scores.
That was Harris's first catch of the night, shotgun. And he hands off to Oliphant. Little drop play, Oliphant with some room to the outside. And he's roughed up into the Eskimo bench by Don Wilson. 7 yards to gain.
So here is the alternate number.
This is the best play that Sacramento has in their running game. It's the counter with Oliphant coming across. He gets a lead block and gets him around the corner, but Mike Oliphant, certainly their leading rusher. That's their best offensive play.
Mike Oliphant, 7-yard pickup on that.
It'll be second down and 3. Edmonton leading 13-4 with 5:15 to go in the fourth quarter at Commonwealth. They try this again, and this time it works. Byron Jackson.
Archer and Byron Jackson.
8 yards.
Some nice moves inside for the first down.
And Mike Pringle, 7, came shooting out of the backfield, and he threw the key block. Open up that Jackson and keep this drive going. Well, the timing on that quick screen of the wide receiver has to be perfect. That time as the ball was caught, Pringle was there with the perfect block for him.
Oliphant, or rather Mike Pringle, met by Willie Pless, number 39.
Martin goes low, the Terminator knocks him down high.
Pringle had a 3-game career with the Eskimos.
He came in here hurt, and he just wasn't ready to go when they brought him here, and it didn't work out.
Oliphant actually spent a little time in the Eskimos practice roster his own self.
That's right.
But he was hurt at the time and never got into game action in Edmonton. Second down and long. Intercepted. Glenn Rogers Jr. and Archer. Just a little upset. Second interception of the year for Jr.
Well, it wasn't David Archer's fault. The receiver broke off the pattern. He was supposed to go to the corner, and Glenn Rogers had such good position on the receiver that he just kind of broke off his pattern. I think it was number 1, Basinger, and you'll see Basinger kind of just loafing away there. Glenn Rogers makes the great play, and you'll see Rogers, Archer rather, it's not my fault. You guys ran the wrong pattern. And of course, the blemish will go on Archer's record, not Basinger's.
Yeah, 14 interceptions for Archer compared to 16 touchdowns coming into the game. Eskimos have it back for the first down near the 20-yard line.
Michael
Souls again gets 5. 345 yards for the Eskimos. And a time of possession that's way better than half the ball game. It's 34-23, 7:51 of the fourth quarter, and 3 minutes remain.
We'll call it a 5-yard gain on the play. Second and 5. Eskimos ball is 25.
And Rogers 2 interceptions in 1993. Allen fakes the handoff to Walling, and then he's trapped from behind. Leonard Nelson in on the tackle on Damon Allen. 2:49 to play. 3-minute warning up at Commonwealth in Edmonton. The Eskimos seem rather comfortable with a 9-point lead. It's 13-4 on CFL Live. Well, if you're just joining us at Commonwealth in Edmonton, Jim Sandusky chatting with Henry Williams, who established a new career mark for punt return yardage in 7 years in the Canadian Football League, surpassing Paul Bennett's totals with Hamilton and Winnipeg and Toronto. Through 11 years in Canadian football, simply the best. Henry Williams with several other punt return marks, including 19 punt return touchdowns.
Well, there have been some terrific punt returners that I have seen in the CFL, but certainly no one in the class of a Henry Williams for longevity and for elusiveness and just a great God-given ability that anytime he gets the football, it could go all the way. And you just can't say that about too many guys.
And he's coming into his own as a receiver in the CFL, too. 32 receptions, 518 yards, 4 touchdowns.
You know, one thing Damon Allen told me tonight, he said, you know, I didn't realize until I came back to Edmonton this year how much a guy like Henry Williams means to a team and to a quarterback to always give you good field position. You know, I was on other teams where we just didn't have the special team production like that, and it really and truly makes a difference. And I thought that was really an interesting perspective from Allen, to be away from it and then come back and reap the benefits of having it.
Harper's punt is high near midfield. No return for Charles Thompson, number 6. Sacramento, decent field position, down by 9 points. David Archer has to score 2 times in a hurry. Just a 29-yard punt, so Archer does have pretty good position. 50%, 118 yards, certainly not enough total yards for David Archer to expect to win this game, but he's not that far out of it. First and 10 near midfield. Archer stands in, screen pass to Pringle. He breaks 1 tackle and maybe just short of the first down. Larry Ruck for 47.
Larry Ruck with the shoestring tackle.
Well, David Archer needs a lot of those kind of completions with 2:16 to go, and he will pick up the first down there on the quarterback sneak. But there you see the time remaining in the bottom corner of your screen. And, you know, it's nice to complete some passes, short passes over the middle, but Archer needs 2 scores. He trails by 9. It's not a great deal of time to do it.
2:10 to go, but it is a first down, Gold Miners. And that pass intended for Oliphant is well off the mark.
Archer's pass intended for Mike Oliphant, incomplete.
Archer had him open. Crossing pattern with Basinger and the halfback Oliphant. And I think this reaction will tell the story that that was his fault.
He's starting to get a little bit frustrated. Second and 10. 2:05 to go. Gold Miners need 9.
Archer's pass intended for a diving Rod
Harris dove to try and make the catch.
Robert Holland.
Now it is 3rd and 10.
That's tough for David Archer. You know, the lane opened up perfectly on the post pattern to Harris as he came into it. And Archer just wasn't able to connect. And Harris ran the right route. The lane was there, but he just couldn't make the play. And that's pretty much what Kay Stevenson has told us. You know, we just, you know, in certain cases have played well, but we just haven't been able to make the big hit, the big catch, or in this case, the big throw to win ball games.
So now it's all on the line. 2 minutes even on the clock. 3rd and 10. Archer needs a first down. Basinger makes the catch, and they are still alive, the Gold Miners. Don Wilson, the tackle, a 32-yard gain, and Basinger comes up with a monster catch here.
This was great concentration at the end of this pass completion. Watch to the right of your screen. Lyons is going to come in just enough to distract Basinger, but to his credit, he concentrated and made the big play.
Minute 53 to go. Markers are down. Carl Parker made the catch short of the first down. Robert Holland made the tackle. Penalty against the Gold Miners.
Ineligible receiver, number 86 on the offense. First down repeated.
What that means that Parker and Rod Harris were lined up to the same side of the field, but one of them has to be a yard off the ball, and obviously they both lined up on the line of scrimmage, so that will cost Sacramento is not really that much in yardage downfield, but time off the clock, which is so important for them.
1st and 20. Minute 46 to go. 13-4. Edmonton leading Sacramento. Down to the 2-yard line. Carl Parker.
Parker
gets a yard and a half.
Yeah, he gets a quick chance to redeem himself, and really for the first time tonight, Archer goes to the rollout, and it's very effective. Gets away from any kind of pressure, and coverage breakdown allows Parker to be wide open. Watch the effort here. Hurdles over Doug Parrish, and gets it down to the 1. So, hey, there's a minute and 39 to go in this game. If they can punch it in right here, they almost don't even have to try an onside kick.
Down!
Now, this would be one of these things for Kay Stevenson, too, if they score. And, you know, he is certainly new to this game. And, well, he realized that with a minute and 39 to go, I mean, that is a lot of time to still take a kick off deep and, you know, try and hold Edmonton for 2 downs, use your timeout, that sort of thing. But first of all, the business at hand is to get this one into the end zone.
Parker with an 7.5-yard pickup on the play.
So it'll be 2nd down.
Second and 1 for the yard miners.
Second and inches at the Eskimo 1.5. They get the first down or not?
I think the ball came loose.
The ball came loose, and the Eskimos have it. Willie Pless creating havoc down there. And the goal miners have come up a little short one more time. Hang on here. Let's see how they roll it.
Well, you're going to see here the handoff to Pringle right over the top, and he is met by 38, Errol Martin, with an unbelievable hit. He timed it perfectly in the air. Now the ball does come loose, but do they say, obviously, that he was
down? It was ruled dead, yeah.
Wow, what a break for Sacramento, but for Errol Martin, did he ever time that perfectly?
So this is it, 3rd and goal to go at the 1-yard line. A minute 22 to go. Looked like a broken play briefly, but he's on target. Right on the money for Rod Harris, and the touchdown toss from David Archer. 18-81, and we're in for a big finish at Commonwealth.
A pretty gutsy call there on 2nd and goal, the play action, and it works perfectly. There, a little play action there, and the bootleg, and Rod Harris, who was lined up as a slot back, is totally uncovered downfield. That's a tough play to defense, and give the Sacramento Gold Miners credit. Gutsy call that was, and it paid off for them.
Archer actually slipped on his retreat into the backfield. So now 1:17 remaining. One Eskimo down in the end zone. It's number 14, Doug Parrish. And anxious moments for Lancaster on the sideline.
That really is. The Edmonton seem to have had this game totally in control, although they were never really ahead by any great margin. It seemed like it was 10-4 forever. But now the Sacramento Gold Miners, with a convert to come, only trail by 3. Minute 17 to go, and this will test the mettle a little bit of the Edmonton offense to see if they can maybe kill this game. Gord?
Well, the injury to Doug Parrish causes an interesting problem for the Edmonton Eskimos. Whenever a team feels that the other side is going to onside kick, they send in what they call their hands team, guys that can grab an onside kick. Doug Parrish plays the outside on the hands team, the guy who most often gets the ball. That's a key role for the Eskimos, and if he can't do it, an onside kick could get interesting.
Parrish seems to be almost okay. Jogging off the field a little bit, picking up the pace with a minute 17 to go.
You know, John, you look at the little things in this game that make a difference, and I think for Sacramento, not scoring on 1st and goal, you know, really cost them some valuable time on the clock.
13-10 as it stands right now. And now, at 13-11, the Gold Miners can win with a field goal.
One more look at the touchdown. The counter that Sacramento runs so well is faked, and David Archer on the rollout finds Rod Harris wide open downfield. Sacramento with their first touchdown of the night, and did it come in time?
An impressive drive, 56 yards, 7 plays. It took 2:12, and it was a 1-yard toss to Rod Harris that finished things off for the Gold Miners.
Interesting to see who Sacramento puts out on the field for this kickoff. I see 81 Rod Harris coming out onto the field, and you certainly know that he is not someone that is going down and looking to make some tackles. 33 Mike Oliphant is out there, 6 Charles Thompson, a receiver, and some other DBs. So I would assume that Jim Crouch is going to try the onside kick here. Edmonton certainly anticipates that. Gord Miller told you they would have their hands team out. They do.
A minute 17 left. It's a 2-point ball game. Sacramento has fought back to have an opportunity. Crouch takes it deep. Rolling pass gives into the end zone.
And he will give up a single point. And more importantly, the clock is still running. I don't know why it is.
No, it should stop by now.
Should have stopped around minute 14 and still keeps going down.
You can see it ticking away, a 13-12 ball game.
Now the official's going to have to sort this out. I had really one eye on the clock and one eye on Gibbs when he put his knee down. Only really 2 and 3 seconds at most came off. It was 1:17 when Sacramento kicked off. So at best it should be 1:15. Well, they take it to 1:13 remaining.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. The kick and the concession.
Because Gizmo went down right away, the clock should be at 1:17. They're trying to communicate that to them right now. What's interesting is that Gizmo didn't run around at all to take any time off the clock.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more, Gord. They could have at least done that. Actually for Sacramento, getting a single point is not really a bonus. I think they would have much preferred with the hands team in there to kick one deep and pin Edmonton deep. That would have been much better. Now Edmonton gets to start at their own 35-yard line, so really Sacramento actually gets a bad break even though they get the point.
Well, a wide field goal will tie it, however.
We got all the bases covered here.
At 13-12, but 1:17 to go. Eskimos in possession. Allen will try and run a little off the clock, but a procedure call there, I think. That's the 3rd time the Eskimos have been called for procedure tonight.
Leaves 56, Steve Krupe, the right guard, number 56, jumped early. He saw a little movement on the defensive line, and he left.
Illegal procedure. Number 56 on the offense. First down repeated.
Steve Krupe in only his 2nd game for the Edmonton Eskimos. You see, watch a little Sacramento movement first, and then Krupe follows 79, Vance Hammond. And, of course, he is not allowed to do that.
First and 15, 1:13 left.
10 yards on the play. Rob White with the tackle.
Pretty good call by Allen. Nobody left in the backfield, and obviously Sacramento thinking pass here, and he runs the quarterback draw.
Ball on their own 40.
Gets by Brent White, 71, and then Curtis Moore, 94. That's a good tackle.
Yeah, an 11-yard gain.
Good tackle by Rob White to keep him there. Now, big play for Sacramento. They need the ball back.
Allen from the shotgun. Getting some pursuit now. Turns it upfield. He stopped well short of the first down. Penalty marker down. The Gold Miners hoping to get the ball back with 53 seconds to play.
It's interesting how they will call this. The penalty flag is in the secondary, like an illegal contacting, but Damon Allen was running all the way. We'll see how they determine this. You believe the Sacramento players is going against Edmonton.
Yeah, you can't believe the players when the camera's on the close-up shot. You believe the guy in the black hat, Bud Steen.
Holding, number 23 on the offense. Penalty is declined. 3rd down and Sacramento timeout.
J.P. Esquerdo caught there, so Ron Lancaster will have 53 anxious seconds. Wasn't 53 a magic number in an Ottawa-Toronto game we did about a week ago?
38 Eskimos, ball on their own 37. Timeout.
You've got a better memory than I do.
Argos took the lead with 53 seconds to go, and Ottawa came back and won it.
Well, the good news for Kay Stevenson, at least his club has put themselves into a position to have a shot at winning this game. With 53 seconds left, they should get the ball in reasonable field position.
A one-point game. Glenn Harper, good kick. Freeman Basinger at his 35. Solid special teams coverage by the Eskimos. A 4-yard loss. And a great tackle by Dan Murphy. 44 seconds to go, and Archer has a long way to go, but he has an opportunity to win a football game. Stay with us for Sports Desk right after the football action from Commonwealth in Edmonton.
Mark Ledbetter of the Miners sneaking up on the play.
It has been an interesting ball game, but only 25 points scored. 10-4 at the half in favor of Edmonton.
Well, as Kay Stevenson and David Archer talk things over and Ron Lancaster ponders the next 44 seconds for his defense, Archer has to be thinking, I need 40 yards to get my kicker Jim Crouch in reasonable field position. That would take it down to about the Edmonton 35 and give Crouch a 42-yarder.
He's connected on a 42-yarder tonight, his longest field goal of the season.
Well, I think what Archer has to be thinking right here, and he gets a bit of a break as number 73, Mark Ledbetter, gives him some time with the injury to sort things out. But he might be saying in the huddle, hey, guys, look, we need about 40 yards. That's 10 yards of play for 4 plays. Let's put everybody together here, get your blocks. We're going to go 10 at a time and see if we can't win this thing.
The opportunity is there with 44 seconds to go. Archer stands in. And he short hopped that one for Carl Parker, number 86.
Archer aiming a pass for Carl Parker.
39 seconds to go.
Doug Parrish covering. Leroy Blue with the hurry for the Eskimos.
Archer has underthrown a couple of receivers tonight.
Ball number 33.
Second and 10. Shotgun. Archer stands in. And this time it's picked off at midfield. Rogers has his second interception of the night. They rule him down back near the 50-yard line. Again, the Gold Miners
Glenn Rogers Jr.
come up a little short.
His second in the game.
2 interceptions for Glenn Rogers Jr.
Let me tell you, that was a great catch by Glenn Rogers. That was not an easy interception, and for David Archer, another week of frustration.
The Eskimos hang on to a 13-12 lead and have only 32 seconds to erase from the clock at Commonwealth. Wasn't real pretty all night long for the Eskimos' victory.
Steven Allen takes the lead.
Well, a win is a win is a win, as they say.
Yeah, and it's good when all is settled and signed and sealed here. It'll move the Eskimos into a tie with Saskatchewan and British Columbia.
Of course, for Ron Lancaster's team, 3 games in 8 days now. They at least get off this very, very tough period in their schedule on the right foot. Of course, we'll have Calgary this weekend, and then back here at Commonwealth a week from tomorrow night. We'll have that one for you on CSN.
9 seconds to go now. The Eskimos are that far away from their 6th victory of 1993.
Third 13 Eskimos, ball to Sacramento 63.
That's the old ball game as the Eskimos beat the Sacramento Gold Miners. The Gold Miners dropped to 2 wins and 8 losses in their inaugural season in 1993.
Well, you have to feel pleased for Ron Lancaster. For Kay Stevenson, another game where his team was in it for the entire ball game, but just could not make enough big plays at the end to pull out a victory. So they will go back to Sacramento for their game next week against Ottawa at 2-8, and still desperately trying to put some wins together and get in the playoff hunt in the Western Conference.
John Payne and Ron Lancaster, a couple of old pals in Canadian football, shake hands and walk off the turf at Commonwealth. There's the final. It's Edmonton by 1.